Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to our coverage of Queensland Masters. I'm again joined by Adam. Hello, Adam.
How you doing, everybody? Thank you all for sticking with us. Unfortunately, the internet has remained in its unruly state, but luckily the man on the ground, Nick, has done a lot of work in the off-season, and a lot of the scores and other moving parts should be up to date and working well.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully we have all of the updated scores ready to come in live. I've got Josh running around. He's entering all of the secondaries as we speak. So as we go to all of our tables, we should be able to get that action.
So our two main tables for this is the top left and bottom right, yeah? They're the two guys who are still playing in contention?
Yes, that's right. Eric Lathoris versus Stephen Wade and Liam Hackett versus Aaron Green are the two games that we have.
Man, orcs on orcs. The bottom right-hand game I expect to be decided very quickly one way or another. Either the green tide of Aaron connects and does the job, or we might see a sneaky win for the yellow gits. But in the top left, man, I expect a really cagey game from those two, don't you? Wade versus Eric.
This is going to be definitely a cagey game. Eric knows that Wade has the ability and the power to absolutely just ruffle stomp in there and just wreck units. So Eric's going to have to take that power away from him. And by doing that, that's going to have to be during deployment, through movement, through stratagems, all the tricks that Eric likes to pull out of his back pocket to absolutely distribute games.
Now, tell us a little bit about this mission these guys are playing.
Okay, so Vital Intelligence is the mission that the boys have. So it's the primary objective is they control 2 or more objectives, they control 3 or more objectives, they control more objective markers than your opponent controls.
Yeah, so this is the one where there's one in each deployment zone in a vanguard deployment, so in corners, and then 4 objectives going from the top left-hand corner diagonally down to the bottom right-hand corner.
Yes, that's correct. This is also the mission where you may move on to the objectives, move off the objectives, and still control them.
Yeah, so this is a big one for Wadey, isn't it? I don't think it's going to matter that much in the Orcs versus Orcs. They both have like Commandos and Stormboys and Grots they can leave back on their home ones. But especially for Wade, that means he can just mulligan push, smash everything into Eric's face, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, this mission is definitely suited for Steve. He can jump up, cap what he needs to cap, and then move on and then continue on his way to getting into Eric's face. So it's not like he's going to have to sit around and use his units to do nothing. He's able to actually cap them objectives and then move on.
Yeah. Now, traditionally, this is a game where we often see first turn it turn into a hammer and anvil game. Usually people will just move straight up onto the left of their objective. They'll move straight up onto the 2 directly above them, rather than moving closer to the body of what they think there is their opponent's army, which is usually to the right, or vice versa if you're deploying in the top. I expect that to happen in Eric's game. I expect Eric to turn this into hammer and anvil very quickly.
Yeah, I think that'll be the case as well. I think he'll do that to help him with engage and stuff like that, help him with his secondaries, and kind of pinpoint where he can dictate the fights to Steve.
Well, everything in Steve's army is so killy, but if he forces trades, Eric can force trades using 5 Seraphim, 5 Sisters, 5 Celestians, and everything that Wadey puts into it is something of significant value to kill for Eric. So he can really, if he focuses on 2 or 3 objectives and just pushing stuff onto them and forcing Wade to trade, he can essentially do what happened to Savage, but on a much bigger scale and bleed him out.
Yeah, definitely. The detriment there is that Wadey gets hurt a lot more once he starts losing units than what Dan did. So Eric's going to be able to screen with some small units, and then he's got things that we look like the Repentia, the Mortifiers, those things that can come in and counterattack and absolutely take the big units away from what he needs. Things like his Bladeguard vets and his Vanguard vets. Once he starts losing those, he doesn't have the backup that Eric does. He doesn't have the multiple units. The multiple small units that just cause damage. Even the Canesses, if Eric can get in to some smaller units, they alone will wreck some Marines.
Yeah, dude, absolutely right. I mean, the fact that he's got just a Canonist that can go in and kill like 5 Vanguard vets out of a squad is actually just gigantic, isn't it?
Oh, of course it is. It's a massive deal. And like you mentioned earlier with Liam and Aaron's game, just jumping over there for a sec, the Liam being all OBSEC is obviously a massive big deal, and then Aaron is just going to flood the board, so being able to move off the objectives isn't a massive deal. But what it does do, it allows Aaron to use his boys in a different way. It allows him to use the smaller units to tag the objectives, hold the objectives, and then be really aggressive with those boys. He doesn't need them on the objectives. He can have them anywhere on the table where he likes.
Exactly right. And in the same moment, because Liam packs a lot of OBSEC as well, he could just body block across the midboard and safely win and safely just take a safe win on the primary if he wanted to, because knowing that Liam doesn't have the quantity of fire or attacks in melee to dislodge 30 boys all the time, he could just play a very passive game but just get to the midboard first.
Yeah, that's 100% right. So I'm very excited to see what Liam can do here.
I mean, he's not gonna. He's not gonna. He's gonna go for the face smash. But it's going to be interesting either way.
Definitely.
What are the other two games we've got here? I can see the Necrons versus Grey Knights. Is it?
Yeah, that's right. So we've got Braden Kilby Francis up against James Fuller here. James is giving me a big hello wave. He's now waving on the camera, as you can see him there. So they're the bottom left.
Yeah, the bottom left. Yep.
So that's going to be an interesting matchup there, just because, as we saw, obviously Aaron had the bodies and the numbers to get through the Crons, but does the GK have the power to actually get through all those boys? All the Warriors.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if they do. I mean, they've got a good amount of mortal wounds, which is very nice against Necrons. But the fact is, this Necron army has so many freaking wounds. Like, I mean, Scarab soaking smites is a nightmare for Grey Knights. But he has a lot of targeted damage, which is actually really good for him thinning out things like the race. It's just whether he can get enough quantity into a certain space that they can all get onto one unit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Really interesting games. And to the top right, we have Mr. Dan Savage versus Paul Gurney. That's the Iron Hands versus the AdMech.
Yeah, so Dan Savage will be looking for some retribution here after he narrowly lost down to Eric. So poor old... he's rolling a tear right now. But yeah, this will be an interesting game here. So there's a lot of resiliency in what Paul Gurney's brought here.
Is it Gurney or Gurney?
Gurney, sorry. Gurney, no, I said it wrong. Sorry, my bad. Thanks for picking me up on that one.
No, I thought you were a local and you'd know better. I thought I was.
No, I was just going to play. I was just going to play it cool and keep going.
No.
So I'm glad you picked me up there. So he's obviously used that land rate at a great effect last time. We obviously weren't picking up live on the stream, but Wadey's done well to ignore it and just let it do its thing, which is obviously what Wadey was doing there. So it'd be good to see what's happening here.
Well, so legit, the Land Raider is in a horrible matchup for a Land Raider. All those breaches, all doing D6 damage to it. Horrific. Yeah. That thing will die the second it gets shot by like any quantity of breaches.
Well, as we can see in deployment right now, Paul is actually trying to get it squished in behind any piece of ruin that he can get it in.
Well, he hasn't deployed
line of sight.
Yeah, exactly. He's deployed it last because he's like, I can't risk this not being placed away from He's
obviously just wait to see where all the breaches go, because the breaches are just going to absolutely destroy that Land Raider.
Exactly, brother. Top left, we're seeing Eric's deployment. Just looking holistically how he's deploying, he's pretty spread across. He's got the body of his sis as well at the back. I can definitely tell you right now, there are 2 units of Repentia starting on the board. Not sure if all 3 are. I can definitely make out 2 units. It's surprising. I'm surprising myself that I can make out 2 units there. But they're so big. Them starting on the board is so freaking big in this game, because unlike a lot of other Marine matchups where he couldn't start them on the board because they'd get picked up very, very easily, Wadey doesn't have any shooting. He's got attack bikes are the only things that are going to shoot them down. If he puts plasma inceptors into them, yeah, sure, get the job done. But if Eric's probably willing to trade 1 unit of his Repentia for all 5 plasma inceptors. So definitely 2 units there I can see. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, that's it. Wadey's army is really built for like taking on the meta. He can beat some elite armies and stuff like that. But as we've seen here with Aaron, with the Orcs, with Eric, with the Sisters, we've got a sort of a counter meta going on where the boys have bought a bit of a variation. They've bought some hordes. So things like Marines, which are actually really prevalent in the meta right now, aren't as strong as they could be here.
Yeah. And so I think Eric's just done a couple of his scout moves with his Dominions. You can see one of them bubbling up straight to the top, as is what I thought he was going to do, head towards that hammer and anvil play should he get turn 1. I think that the other 2 units are pretty easy for you to see. In the bottom right hand side of his deployment, 5 have just moved up there, and same right in the central towards that L. He'll probably post them up and get them to threaten the objectives. He wants them up. He wants them up onto things that are out of line of sight. Sorry, in line of sight. Therefore, have to be charged. Therefore, you have to put something into line of sight to clear them off. But I think Eric will be 100% wanting Steve to go first if you can make him.
Yeah, I think so too, because Eric's pretty happy. He knows that he's pretty well hidden. He knows that the actual shooting output from Wadey can be negated because of the way he deploys. So I think, he's happy. Eric's pretty much usually happy going second and just like countering to what people can do.
Yeah, 100%. So the secondary for this mission is data intercept, is it not?
That is correct. And for those watching at home that don't know what that is, 1 unit from your army can start to perform this action at the end of your movement phase. If it is within range of an objective marker, and no enemy units, excluding aircraft, are within range of that objective marker. This action is completed at the end of your next command phase, so long as the unit performing it is still within range of the same objective marker.
So you don't need to hold it. You just need to exist there until that turn.
That's
so
correct.
If you start doing, essentially you paint a big target on yourself and say, that says kick me. But if you survive, doesn't matter if they control it over you. If you just survive, you get the points. Now, I'll tell you right now, both these gentlemen have taken this secondary.
They
Both
definitely
Steve Wade
have.
and Eric Ferris have. So one of them is going to be disappointed, most likely.
There is a good chance there. So let's run through the secondaries you've got there. We'll go through Wadey first. I'll get on that for us, Adam. He's gone with his all-favourite Oath at the moment. He's then also gone with Raise the Banners, which seems to be a favourite of his, and then Dart Intercept.
Now, I like that, except for the addition of Raise the Banners. I feel like through the use of Miracle Dice and through Eric being a savvy bastard, he will really impede his ability to put up and hold banners.
Yeah, definitely. That's something we touched about in Dan's game. When you're playing against someone with like Eric, who has the ability to dictate the scores, he knows he can look at things like Raise the Banners and he can say, okay, if I can just get something on here to stop you, then that's a big swing for me. He can probably get a 10-point swing for himself when he sees things like that.
Now, what's Eric taking?
So Eric's gone with While We Stand We Fight, his favourite, engage on all fronts, and again, like you mentioned, Data Intercept.
Yeah, so Data Intercept. So here's the difference in polarity of these two lists. For Wade to do something, to put something onto objective and use Data Intercept, that thing is not only is it a Marine, e.g., it is over 100 points, no matter what model it is, no matter where it comes from. Most likely, it's going to be something that is intrinsically valuable to him, e.g., Blade Guard, e.g., Inceptors, e.g., freaking Vanguard veterans. And then he needs to have it not die. And Eric's going to have every incentive in the world to kill something that is both high value and going to be scoring his opponent points. So whereas Eric can do Vital Intelligence with 5 sisters, and he doesn't care,
Yeah, that's it. And probably another reason that Eric may have chosen to go second, if he has chosen to go second here, is that he can actually take away that Data Intercept from Wadey with his little assault units that he's got there. And surprisingly, he has a lot of assault. So he's punching out a lot of like five attacks on a lot of these units at neg one strength. Once you start getting those Marines rolling their 4-ups, those 100-point, 120-point units, they're starting to struggle.
They do. It's really frustrating for any player going into sisters and being like, they're not going to hurt me too bad. Just got to watch out for the Repentor. I'm fine. And then Celestians charge you with 3 attacks each. Oh god, it's really rough.
That's it. And another key feature too, we're talking about like having a trade-off in units here. Eric is able to do things like burn Miracle Dice to automatically pass things. If he has a couple of 6s up his hand and he needs 1 or 2 units to stay alive just to capture those primary objectives, he can plonk a couple of those Miracle Dice down. Oh, I've made my 6-up imbos. I'm sweet.
Exactly. So Steve Wade has loses his Martyr of Ambush to chuck up a unit of Vanguard veterans right into his opponent's face. They'll have the chain captain with them as well, AG, the captain of the Teeth of Terror. They'll be getting slingshot in the first turn and hopefully trying to get a bait out as many of Eric's value targets as possible. Make Eric use his Repentia early. Hopefully make him use 2 squads of his Repentia early. But in all honesty, like 1 squad probably does the ticket. He does have a lot of thunder. He does have a lot of storm shields in that unit. So, who knows, he could buff that off. But yeah, I'm of the opinion that if Steve went first, he probably wants to go first, right? And if Eric rolled to go first, he probably makes Steve go first. So I think either way in this game, Steve was going to go first, no matter who's won this roll. And it's just going to be really interesting to see how much he can get to connect this turn 1 and how much damage he can get done.
Yeah, 100%. All right, and on that, let's have a look over at Liam and Aaron's table.
Yes, please. Please, Aaron, don't go first. I'm gonna hope he hasn't gone first because it'll be a much more fun game for us to call.
I can see some dice in Liam's hand. It looks like Liam's actually won, and he's going first.
Thank God, because every time Aaron has won the roll to go first, it's been the most boring game to watch. It's like, cool, Aaron won. And
unless you're Aaron. Aaron's probably rewatching this going, yes, I went first again. I'm in their face again. So.
Has the aspect ratio changed for this table? It looks a little bit small for some reason.
It may have.
Whatever.
So that was part of my not being as good as Diffie. I'm not the Omnissiah. Diffie is the Omnissiah.
He is literally, man.
If Richard Siegler is the machine, then Diffie would be the Omnissiah.
I agree. But what's Liam's play here? What does he try and do? What's he trying to accomplish?
Well, I think as we've seen with Liam this morning, he's probably just going to stick to his. So before we get into that, let's go through the secondaries because I've worked my butt off to get this to be able to see live. So we'll go through Liam's first. He's gone with While We Stand. As we know, that's his thing. His shock attack guns are sitting in the back of the table. He's gone with Engage on all fronts. And then he's gone with Deploy Scramblers.
Nice.
So they seem pretty good, Liam. I'm pretty happy with all those picks. What about you?
Engage might be a bit of a pain in the ass. I mean, he does have good ways of doing it, but I mean, Aaron takes up just so much of the freaking board that turns 3, 4, 5. You might be struggling to get stuff back there.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Unless he's holding Storm Boys in reserve just for that fact, in which case,
yeah, I think that's an option.
I'm really, really hoping right now that all the trucks are empty. I can see 3 sags up on his home ruin, on his home objective, and I
Yep.
can see what looks to be Gretchen stringing out behind them with the weird boy probably next to them. I can see what looks to be 5 Storm Boys, 5 Storm Boys onto the bottom right-hand objective, and then the ones above that. So he's committed a lot of his resources early. I would have liked to have seen the Commandos go up first and then probably die, and then have the Storm Boys with their better mobility going in a bit later. But Liam probably knows a bit more about this matchup than I do. But the fact that he gets to go first is a huge deal.
Yeah, definitely is. It's definitely going to help him there. He's probably trying to make the most of what he can early, I'd say, knowing that once that Aaron has a chance to flood the board, he will flood the board. So I think Liam's got to try and get in position early, try to hold some things and take some things away from Aaron while he can.
Well, I think he needs to decide right now if he's got enough firepower to all in 1 unit of 30 boys. I'm of the opinion he doesn't. So I think if he's planning well, he should try and kill somewhere between 5 and 10 from 2 or 3 units if he can pull it. One thing I actually I think would be better here. I bet he's wishing he had some custom shooters on his mega knobs, because surprisingly 24 shots from 15, so somewhere in the region of 72 bolter shots from the 3 units of mega knobs would actually be significant in this game.
Yeah, definitely help. It would definitely help. All right, so let's have a look at Aaron's
24. What is that? 30, 60, 70. Yeah, 72. I was right. Sorry, go.
Yeah, right. Sorry. So let's have a look at Aaron Green's secondaries here. So he's gone with Vital Ground, is that an Orc one? What's Vital Ground?
Orcs don't have any of their own.
No, what's Vital Ground? I don't know what Vital Ground is.
Yeah, I know what Vital Ground is. Okay, never mind.
Okay. No, okay. Anyway, so he's gone with Vital Ground, engage on all fronts, and raise the banners.
Nice. I do like raise the banners for him. I don't like that he has to use a full unit of Orc Boys to raise it, but I mean, if he does do it in late game, he can just do it with Commandos, no problems, because they bring up the rear.
Yep.
As for engage, a no-brainer. You would always take engage playing that Orc army. Vital Ground. What the hell is Vital Ground? Someone in the chat.
I'll have a chat to Josh because, hey, what's our Vital Ground, Josh? This Vital Ground, is that data intelligence? That's data intelligence as a mission specific. Okay, so it's the old data intelligence intercept. Sorry.
Yeah, it's intercept. So he didn't find it when he was putting in his secondaries. He just assumed it wasn't there.
I would assume so. Yeah, that would probably be the case.
Fair enough. That's all good. So yeah, because that's what I thought. If he was maybe take investigate size, wouldn't be too bad in this one either, because that would just be doing an action in the middle of the board, 3 points a pop. That's pretty good for his army also. But yeah, I mean, so some things here. Surprisingly, Liam's Orc army is quite good at killing Gaz. Yes, because they can do mortal wounds in the charge phase. They can a shock attack gun can take 4 wounds off, do 4 mortals in the charge phase, do 4 in combat. You can kill him in 1 turn. He can't. 30 boys is much harder for him to kill than Gaz, which is freaking hilarious, right?
It definitely is, and Gaz is something that he doesn't want to get into his lines either. If Gaz gets into these trucks and starts mowing through some stuff, he's going to have some trouble there.
Well, he wants to get guys into Mega Knobs for sure. I mean, his Orc Boys will kill Mega Knobs over time, but the Mega Knobs will butcher the boys right back. So it's kind of a bit touch and go. But yeah, Gaz kills 5 Mega Knobs by himself pretty much.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
But yeah, I do like Liam's going first. I haven't seen any boys being picked up as of yet, which I find is a little bit interesting.
Oh, there you go. Just as you say it, Eric's starting to pick up some boys there.
Eric? Aaron.
Sorry, Aaron. Yes, sorry.
Same guy.
Same shirts.
Same dude. But yeah, no, that's cool. It's cool. So there is an under event going on with this as well. So there is an RTT for the Masters. There's an RTT for essentially anybody who wants to just rock up and play, kind of running concurrent to this.
That's true.
Starting at let me just have a quick look at the rankings going into this one. So we had the guy who was actually on top. His name is Jamie Horsley, and he was playing Renegade Knights, mono Renegade Knights.
Well, I actually have the overall leaderboard for, if you want, I can bring that up for you. So it's an overall leaderboard of everyone in the tournament combined.
So yeah, but the top 3 from the non Masters was James Horsley playing Knights. Then he had Justin Lay, who is playing Imperial Fists Successors, where we're in the range plus Master Artisans. And then next we had Brian Lakeland playing his patented Harlequins, which is getting very, very, very scary with.
Yeah, definitely. He's getting really good at them, actually.
Yeah, look at that spread. Trader, yeah, have to go to 3rd to get an Imperium, and then past that one, you have to go to 7th to get the next Imperium, next space. That's a good meta. I don't know.
It definitely is.
The metas in other places, but Australia's meta being wonky makes it better, makes it cool, makes it more balanced.
Oh, it definitely does.
Not every jerk and his dog playing White Scars or Salamanders or
Yeah, no, there's a good variation. And then even what we found a lot of the times, some of the guys rock up with those net sort of lists, and because they don't know how to play them perfectly, they can't just hold their own to the guys like Paul Gurney that have played Iron Hands. He's got models in there since he's been 9 years old, so he knows what he's doing backwards.
Yeah, exactly right. George has just said it's still round one. ... Man, we can dream. Calm your farm, George. Let us, you know, let's blow some hot air into our own scene. It's good. It's a good time for everybody.
What does George play?
George is a Custodes diehard. And he laments them to the end of the world. He's like, why do I love Custodes so much? And why does G-Dub hate me so? So you guys could probably bond.
So what I'm hearing is he's got a lot of jet bikes sitting around doing nothing.
Actually, I think he really loves Aquilin Custodes. I think you're the common term.
Okay. Yep.
Last time we were chatting.
Custodes and Chaos, he's saying. That's a mix.
What a spread.
All right, so how about we have a look at one of the other tables here?
Yeah, I was about to say, can we have a look at Savage's game? It looks like Savage has gone first, and he's making some moves. We might be into the start of Mr. Gurney's turn one. He just looks like he's measuring some stuff to get some lines of sight.
So let's start by having a go over those secondaries here. So I'll go through Paul's there. So Paul's gone with While We Stand We Fight, Engage on All Fronts, and Vital Ground, which is actually Data Intercept.
Yep. Good choices. No problems there. While We Stand, I think is a good choice for this game, apart from the Land Raider.
Apart from the Land Raider.
Yeah, I mean, but getting 10 against this matchup is probably good enough.
That's true. That's a very good point. Yep.
And if he does theoretically keep the Land Raider survive some freaking how, which I don't know how he does.
What about Engage? Are you happy with Engage?
Don't like Engage. Engage this matchup.
I can't say myself I would be taking Engage there. I can probably see him maybe even getting squished down to half the board here because, as we've seen with all AdMech players, they sort of like to take that L shape, move to the hammer and anvil, like you keep describing as well. And he's got a lot of attacking units here. Like even the small little hounds and stuff that he has here can get into those TAC Marines. He's only got 3 Vanguard vets, Blade Guard vets, sorry. So he's got some smaller units, Paul does, which could be bullied by even those screen units.
Tim CZ 83. Yeah, we are about maybe 15, 20 minutes into this round. Turn one is just pretty much starting. We're into the bottom of turn one for most of these games. But yeah, I totally agree with what you were saying. The fact that Engage and Vital Ground, which is Vital Intelligence or whatever it's called, in Data Intercept, kind of both work off board control. And Dan is going to be really aggressive this game. He's got no reason to hold back. The only real units he needs to be afraid of is the Assault Sense. Apart from that, nothing's going to pick up 5 breaches. Like 3 Blade Guard does not kill 5 breaches, especially with Feel No Pains. He can be really cavalier this game. And I expect him to be really aggressive. Yeah,
definitely. And I think I can still see Eric's handprint on Dan's backside from the previous game. So I think based on that alone, Dan will be going for the throat.
Good call. I do notice he's got some sterilizers to the right of his deployment, and he's got probably some Raiders of Sulphur Hounds in front of him. Behind them, another unit of Raiders of Sulphur Hounds. And then I see another unit in front of the breaches, and then some sterilizers up on his home ruin. So that means there is at least 1 unit of Raiders and Sulphur Hounds. There's 2 units of them that we can't see right now. I think I do just see one of them right on the top left-hand side of the board. That looks like a unit of Raiders. I can see a rifle in the air, so I'm seeing Raiders. So then there must be a unit of Sulphur Hounds we can't see, which isn't surprising.
No, definitely not. So while we're at it, we'll go through Dan's secondaries here. So he's gone with Engage on All Fronts, Data Intercept, and then Deploy Scramblers, which is basically similar to what he's taken against Eric there.
Yeah, exactly right. I think he's going to do a lot better with these ones this game. Deploy Scramblers should be kind of a no-brainer. He should be very able to do that this game. There should be very little impediment. I'm not seeing any servitors on the table right now. Actually, I think that might be a Daedalosis. Apologies. I'm assuming it is Daedalosis. Because it's right. You see, right up the middle into the top middle ruin. There's a 25 mil base there. I'm guessing that's a Daedalosis.
I would say so.
To run out, point at something, and go, you die, and then all the breaches just kill everything. But this will be a game where outflanking the multi-melters is actually a good idea because you want them to come in and be able to get line of sight on that Land Raider, whatever it is, and also they're very good into the attack bikes. Very good into the attack bikes. So very good into the assault sense. What am I talking about? They're amazing.
Yeah, it's just a cheap unit too. I think they're like 65 points.
Yeah, really good.
4 multi-melter shots. That's insane.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think this is looking pretty good for Savage. But I mean,
I think so too.
Gurney's got the tools. He just needs to get those. He needs to get max value out of the Assault Centurions. They're like his best unit in this.
Yeah, that's it. So Tim has hit us up in the chat to see how Liam's gone. So Liam actually had the biggest win in round 1. He maxed out his points. He is on the top table with Aaron in an Orc versus Orc off.
Like it would have been cool to have that as the final game, but who gives a crap? Like it's the semis essentially. But I mean,
That's
every game here is every game in the Masters is worthy of being a finals at an
100%.
RTT, or easily at an RTT, most likely at a GT anywhere in Australia, pretty much. All these
Yeah.
gentlemen are of a certain caliber where they could easily get to a top table wherever they go.
Well, they got here by being on them, so that's true.
That's exactly spot on. So we have Mr. Fuller versus Mr. Kilby Francis. This is Necrons versus Grey Knights. What are you seeing here, dude?
All right, so what I'm seeing is secondary. So let's go through what Fuller's got. He's got Grind Them Down, Line Breaker, and Data Intercept. So Line Breaker, I think he's actually got some little tricks going on with a couple of his characters which allow him to get Line Breaker. That's why he likes that one so much.
So is the Demifuge, yeah? When does that pop out? Or is that always there?
I'm not sure.
Is it possible that he outflanks that guy into someone's deployment zone and then pops the Demifuge out and thereby getting another unit into their deployment zone?
Yes, that is his. Yes, that's his trick. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
That is actually really cool. That's a really sweet trick.
Yeah, it is. It's a good little 4 points per turn. Line Breaker is good too. You can get that for 3 turns. That's a nice little 12 points. That's a massive. Even for 2 turns, only getting like 8 points is still pretty good for a secondary.
Absolutely. Looks like he's gone very heavy into the bottom right-hand side of his deployment, and looks like he's well. So this is Hammer and Anvil. This is just turned into Hammer and Anvil. It
definitely is now.
I've called it, and there it is. So the Necrons are moving straight up. Actually, they're moving out on all fronts, and the Grey Knights are coming down to the bottom right. Look, a lot of the Grey Knight stuff is really impervious to most of the damage that's going to be coming in here. So yes. I think they're going to be around for the long haul. The problem is I just got a feel they're going to get outscored. It's like 2 units of OBSEC for the Grey Knights versus the entire Necron army being OBSEC. So
yeah, from memory, do they count as 2 as well, the Crons?
The ones that are actually OBSEC do, so all the Necron Warriors count as double.
Yes.
So literally 1 unit of Necron Warriors is more OBSEC than the entire army.
And on a 6-game objective, that's a big thing.
That's exactly right. If this was a 4 objective mission, I'd almost be saying Fuller's looking good here with how killer his characters and Immortal Wounds are. But on a 6 objective mission, I can't back him. I'm sorry, James. I love you, mate, but it's gonna be rough, brother.
All right, so I've just had some updates. Wadey's come over to have a chat to me. So we'll head over to see what's going on there. He's just failed a 6-inch charge with a reroll. So Eric's giving him a gentle pat on the shoulder. So there's a bit of love going on here.
So that's his Vanguard vet's turn 1. He was going to go for a turn 1 charge.
Yep.
Some Dominions and hopefully try and bait out some of Eric's key stuff early. Oh wow! So he went big. He jumped over the front lines. He jumped over Eric's front line and went for a deep charge with those Vanguard vets. Like he tried 100%. To go right into his back lines and he failed it. Yikes. They're
That's
dead.
not a surprise. He is a big play, Wade. He loves a big play, he does.
I do well. I love that now that I'm seeing it. I wish.
I think if you had some miracle dice, maybe things would be different there.
George said, 28 paladins and termies and 4 to 5 characters for Fuller. So you're tipping it for Fuller? Hey, cool, good for you, man. I actually hope he gets up. I actually like the list. I like this a lot.
The list is actually 8 paladins and 20. Oh, yeah, sorry. So you're combining the 2. Yeah, I'm with you. Yep.
I actually like the list a lot. I'm just not sure how it goes in singles. I think in teams when you can wield it away from the stuff that are very, very potent against it, e.g. things like Liam, where you can do a lot of mortals, a lot of D6 damage with shock attack guns. Yeah. It gets really powerful, gets really deadly and scary. But I don't know. Here, there just seems to be too much to go into it.
Well, speaking with him, he was more playing around 4 teams events, and he just sort of brought the list 2 masters. So, as it happens sometimes.
Yeah, it is a little bit too elite. I agree, George. But here, man, rough times for Wade. Failing that charge, he's just lost a Vanguard vet bomb for free.
Yeah, that's just going to die. Yeah,
for free. Eric doesn't need to move out. Eric will just be like, thanks for the free meal, mate. I'm just going to go into these 2 right-hand objectives, and I'm going to even you on primary and eat one of your best units for literally for nothing.
Yeah, that's it. He would really needed those Vanguard vets to do some hammering there.
They would, man. They'd absolutely demolish their way through like a bunch of Eric's core units. It's surprising. I'm guessing he charged most of the things he's in range of, but the longest charge of those was a 6, which he failed.
Yeah, I think that would be the case. Yeah.
You have to make to the one that's the furthest away, and then e.g. make distance to all of them, because he could spread out and he'd only need like 1 or 2 guys into each squad of 5 sisters to put them down. So
this is actually where we'd find those lightning claws would be better off.
Exactly right, because he actually has a decent amount of lightning claws. The power fist, not so much, but still, it's rough. You hate to see those things happen early in the game, especially when
you're
playing.
Especially when it's all on the line, game 2 at Masters.
Mm. George just said those 10 Vanguard vets with Storm Shields is just crazy for the points. Yeah, I agree.
Having said that about Wadey, though, he did have his Raven Guard tricks taken away from him in the previous game, and he pulled away with a mad win. So let's not count him out. He's had a chat to me. He was disappointed that we didn't back him. He said he's got the abilities to do it here, so we're going to have to back him. We're going to have Wade's back.
I can't. Sorry, Wadey. I love you, brother. I can't back you now. You just rolled a 6, man. Yeah, no, that's rough. You hate to see it. You hate to see it on such a big table when you've just made a huge play and just like the dice just say no.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you're right. George just said, Wade still has a lot of hammer units. His whole army. Everything in his army is a hammer unit, man. It doesn't have anything but hammer units, so it's fine. Let me just ban this douchebag.
So hopefully, just as he came through, Wadey capped a couple of objectives. You cap a couple of objectives as he came through, Wadey? Objectives? Yeah, sweet. So he's got 4 objectives. So while he may lose that unit, he was able to use it to capture 2 of the middle ones, I'd say, and then he's got a bunch of banners up as well. So
nice. So
it's not all in vain.
Yeah, no, that's done really well. Good thinking by Wadey. Make sure you secure the points you can on the way to doing your plays. Looks like we've into Aaron's turn 1 onto the Orcs versus Orcs, and looks like we're also into the Necrons turn 1 in the GKs versus Orcs. You can see, if you can just look down there, you can see a big mass of all 10 of those race just surging towards the Grey Knights. I would maybe not do that, because I mean now you've just pointed out everywhere to put all those smites, and I do have a good lane of fire from the backfield, and technically he can just regate back up into his back lines, put all the fire into the race, and kind of avoid that problem. But interesting to see. I mean,
that's probably a perfect job for the Scarabs there, just to sit out in front and take some smites and not really care about it.
But see, where he's put the race, it lets him avoid him. He can redeploy with gate to above, and then just put all the smites and all the psychic powers from the characters straight down into him. And they're close enough that you might even be able to get a cheeky vortex to hit both squads.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, interesting stuff. But we'll see what happens there. The Necrons are still sitting, but they've just got so many wounds, man. So many wounds, so much obsec. But yeah, go full of go. See how you go, brother. I'm interested to see how this gets played out by Aaron. Thanks for jumping over to it. From the Orc units, it looks like the one that's jumped into the central left objective has lost a handful of boys. But apart from that, not seeing much damage that hasn't been done.
No, not really. There's a few empty movement trays, but I don't know if Liam doesn't necessarily have that much shooting, really, does he?
No, he doesn't at all. I mean, the scrap jets have a little bit. The trucks have a couple of shooters, like tank busters and the 3 SAGs. It's not a lot at all. Like the sum total of probably like less than 2 tank commanders for the entire army.
Yeah, this list really relies on sort of like movement shenanigans and playing the mission and making sure you get the secondaries that you've chosen.
Yeah, exactly right. It's a very Liam list. He has little very strong commitments, but I mean, I think we both tipped this one for Aaron just based on the lists, but none of us can. You can never rule Liam out. He's just too good.
Yeah, well, he has the highest ELO rating of anyone in the tournament. I think it's even higher than Eric's.
It is, yeah. Him and Morrisoli are the only 2 that are higher than Eric.
Yep. Yeah, so you definitely can't count him out then. He's good at beating good players.
Yeah, exactly right. He's good at winning games regardless of the list, regardless of everything. So, yeah, Aaron is going for it. Aaron, I think he has everything to win by going for it, whereas Liam's the opposite. Liam has everything to lose by going for it, because if he you put 5 Mega Knobs into 30 boys, 5 Mega Knobs in one turn don't kill 30 boys, and those 30 boys get joined by another 30 boys and another 30 boys and Gazgul, and you just lose your Mega Knob for nothing. And then he green ties the boys and he didn't do any damage. So those 3, Time CZ83, those 3 SAGs, though, have potential to do a lot of damage, but not sure how that's going to go against just mass boys. Exactly right. What do you think, Nick?
Man, it's a lot of boys, isn't it? It is a lot of boys. And they've got the 6-up Feel No Pain and the 5-up Invo there, so it's hard to get through. But I can see, looking through Liam's list there, while we stand, I think he's going to get it. I think he'll keep his 15 there. He knows how to protect those really well. Engage on all fronts. I think he's going to be getting close. He'll be able to get 9 there, I think. And then he'll get his scramblers.
Yeah, I mean, I think Aaron's actually... They're both taking real passive. I mean, I expected Liam. Liam took the swathe of non-interactive ones.
Yes.
Whereas, well, actually, they both took non-interactive. raise the banners, deploy scramblers, engage, investigate sites or vital intelligence, whatever the crap it is, versus while we stand. I mean, I think the only truly safe points is the while we stands. Everything else is kind of up for grabs. Engage can be denied by both players. I think Aaron denies it better than Liam does, but Liam
he definitely does.
Scramblers
banners is actually something that Liam could probably take from Eric.
Well, you have to hold it over him. So if he puts 30 Orc boys on an objective, there's nothing that Liam can do to pull that down.
If he just true, unless you can wade through them. We're seeing him actually at the bottom, so it's opposite to what I'm watching. So top left screen there, Aaron's actually positioning a whole bunch of 30 boys Orcs as much as he can over that objective right now.
Yep.
So this is actually different to what we've seen Aaron in the past. So he's breaking up his army a fair bit here. Usually we see it as one big swarm that comes across.
Well, he's going to plant a banner and hold an objective, and then he's going to push through because he can still hold it when he moves off him.
Yeah, that's right.
Then he'll use commandos to run on and put up the ones that get taken down.
So he's actually losing the benefits of Gaz's extra attacks. He's losing the benefits of the Weird Boy, the Pain Boy, sorry. He's losing the Big Mech armor by separating all these units, and he doesn't have that resiliency over his entire army that he has previously.
Yeah, I'm truly interested to see if this bites him in the ass, because I would have thought he just all-ins, just plays it as he's always played it. Don't worry about the mission. Don't worry about the objectives. Just smash Liam to bits, and you'll just win. Because like I said, you only need to win this thing by 1 point. It's a Masters. It's knockout.
That's right. It's a very different. It's a very different tactic we've seen from Aaron in his previous games. Gazgul that he's got there on your screen as you're measuring now. I think he's actually making a play towards those scrap jets.
Yes, yeah, he could technically. Well, so he wouldn't be able to make it. He wouldn't come anywhere near to making a charge this turn. But yeah, of course, he's going to move towards the scrap jets for sure.
Yes, so I think he's making a play that way.
Yeah. I'm guessing both. I've only seen one unit of Meganobs on the table, so I'm guessing those two other trucks that we see there have got Meganobs in them.
They very well could do. I can't really see things anywhere, and again, I don't really want to interrupt them while they're playing at this high level game.
So yeah, I'm of the opinion that either he has Meganobs in his trucks or he has them empty. Because what you don't want to risk is putting a truck up there, like the one that's on the left-hand side, up the upper left-hand side. If that one was to get charged and wrapped and killed, you lose 5 Neverdogs for nothing because they can't be.
And like you mentioned, Aaron is now free to move off that objective, so it's definitely something that can happen.
Exactly right. So the risk here for Liam is that he gets. So the risk would have been had Aaron all in him, being that he gets contained, not on the objectives, and just loses the primary. As it is right now, I think Liam has a chance to play the game he wants to play. I'm interested to see how he goes with it.
Yeah, I think the mission has obviously helped Liam there a little bit, allowed him to. It's given Aaron the confidence to split his army, which in turn has given Liam the ability to play his game.
Yeah, exactly right. We want to jump back and have a quick look to see if those Vanguard vets are still alive. I'm assuming they're dead.
Well, they're still there.
For now.
There's a lot of dice being rolled right now by Stephen.
So the thing is, what's interesting is he has to use melee to kill him. Melee or multi-melters. And he probably doesn't want to expose the multi-melters when he doesn't have to. He wants to save those for things like the attack bikes, like the aggressors, etc., etc. He probably has to kill them in combat, to be honest. And the safest way to do that is probably through characters, but characters get interrupted on, characters can get killed, but his characters can all be brought back as well. But then you're just spending CP for stuff you don't need. So he's probably just trying to kill him with bolter shots, to be honest, and just see how many he gets down. Actually, sorry, you know what he's doing? Puts all the bolters into him and then puts a mortifier and one character in, and it probably finishes him off.
Well, if you just want to keep the chat going for a second, I actually have a stratagem that I can now talk about it now that Eric has released it.
Beautiful. Well, he's made up his own stratagem.
There's a good chance. If you just keep the chat going for a sec, I'll find what it is and I'll let you know.
Sure. It's probably Holy Trinity, isn't it? But
yes, it is Holy Trinity, yes.
Oh, what a guess, Adam.
So that is actually, I didn't want to say it pre-game, but that is actually why he has the Combi Flamers.
In his Retributor squads?
Yeah, it's not just to save points there, it's actually to unleash that.
Yeah, so he puts a Combi Flamer in there because you need to have a bolt weapon, a flame weapon, and a melter weapon. And if you have all three in the same squad, they all get +1 to wound, yeah?
Yes, that is correct.
Yep. But as I thought, he's had to commit a unit of Repentia into that Vanguard vet squad, which he was probably always had to do because look, through all his shooting, he's only killed like 2 of them because his shooting just doesn't have the range to go through that many 2 wound, 2+ save bodies.
Not with as many storm shields on there as there is.
Exactly right. The Repentia will pick him up in good order. The issue is now then, I think Wadey. The thing that Wadey has that kills Repentia really well is the attack bikes, having 4 essentially a storm bolter on each one. They can just pull them up into range, put down that unit of Repentia. But That's a good trade for Eric. 1 unit of Repentia for 1 unit of 10 Vanguard vets. I think he takes that, doesn't he?
Yes, I think that, well, if you can get through a couple of units of breaches, I think the Vanguard vets will definitely be, without the feel no pain and all that sort of stuff going on, I think they're going to go down here.
Exactly. Without feeling no pain and without having the ability to transhuman anymore, I think they just fold. But where this gets interesting is he probably pulls out the attack bikes to put the bolter shots into the Repentia, and then the Retributors come out and kill the attack bikes. So it's just kind of a cat and mouse for now. But the thing is, it should have been a cat and mouse game with Wadey in the driver's seat, but now it's Eric in the driver's seat simply because he failed that 6-inch charge.
Yeah, 100%. If we look at the bottom right-hand side of the screen there, Wade has a bunch. That's where his flame aggressors are. They're just camping around there, slowly working their way towards the sisters.
That's a good call. I do like the flame aggressors in this matchup. Because they can transhume, because they're already innately toughness 5, they're immune to the bolters in a lot of ways. They're irritating for the multi-melters, and it seems there's 5 of them, and Eric only packs 2 multi-melters and 2 cherubs. 8 shots from a Retribute unit probably doesn't kill 5 straight up.
Yeah, that's it. And that'd actually be a really good screen unit for things like the Vanguard vets, pushing them up early. They stop things like the Repentia and stuff from overwatching.
Nick, George is sharing his custode salt with us all. You should chime in. Show some camaraderie.
Oh, 27 models. That's almost horde for custodes there, George. I think 32 is the most I get up when I had a bunch of sisters in there.
Yeah, I mean, if they were to make, like, I would love them to make some kind of rule. You know how custodes and sisters, like Sister Silence, kind of partner up. For every custode guard unit, you can take 1 Sister of Silence unit as troops. That would be sick.
It definitely would be, man. They need something. They need some kind of love. What I was doing when I was playing them, I was actually taking custodian guards as a 3-man, and then I was using them as a durability. And then, because at the time lots of people were running elites 5-man units, I would have a 5-man sister squad that I would back them up with, and have an 8-model unit basically that would cruise around, cap the objective. So if someone was to try and take the objective from me, they would have to commit more than a 5-man unit. Yeah,
I like that. I was actually, dude, I had before they changed the Aquila shield thing, so it couldn't shield for like a Castellan, which is what was the list was. I had that dude to shield a Castellan, a bunch of Armigers, and then 3 Custode Guard and 9 Alaris. And the Alaris were going to get lionsed out every single game and just become my cloud of like Space Marine captains in front of all my knights. And it was going to be sick. And then dude, I'm like, nah, bro, you're not allowed to have nice things. Sorry.
Yeah, nah, broken things. That would be nuts. Even just like, you would be able to do it with tank commanders. Even just tank commanders is crazy.
I had the same list with tank commanders. But dude, Aquila shield now, I can't. Does it have any use? Like, what is it? What's worth shielding? What's worth using a shield captain to shield?
It's basically just so you get your while we stand. So you're building your whole army around while we stand, we fight.
Yeah, it sucks.
But it actually is Imperium characters, not just Custodes characters. Yeah, so you still can use it for other things.
I'm trying to think of a non-vehicle character.
Well, when I was doing it, I had some sisters in there for a while. So the Saint with the Quill and Shield is actually really hard to put down.
Yeah, she'd be impossible to kill because you can just bring her back, and he's invincible. He's literally invincible.
Yep. Gilliman.
Yeah, shielding Gilliman. That's cool.
Yep. There's definitely some cool things you can do just because it's the Imperium keyword. I actually did it with Codiaz a little bit. So I would bait Codiaz out. I'd drag him out the front and Quill and shield him. People would think they could get some easy assassinate points or whatnot from getting rid of Codiaz, and I'd just keep Codiaz alive while I was busting out some super smites. So yeah, there's still some good little tricks there.
Nice.
The problem is they're not overpowered enough or good enough to be able to stand it at this top level.
Nah, they're not. Yeah, it's rough. I mean, I'm not even that big on Shadowkeepers. I'm not on the Shadowkeepers bandwagon.
Shadowkeepers? No, I'm not big on Shadowkeepers either. I think the missionary, the other one, the emissaries or whatever, I kind of like that one. The counters 2, counters 3 or whatever it is for.
Yeah, not too bad. And then there's what's the one with the light of the Moriartys, the 3d6 charge from reserve?
That's a Dread Host.
Yeah, it's okay. It's just a gimmick that people can play around.
That's all right. That's all right. I'd say the axe is all right there too. Like if you want a 3 damage axe.
I'm actually, for teams events, huge fan of the biker list with the advance and shoot.
Yes.
Big fan for teams events because
yes.
in singles, like 3 units of 3 or 1 unit of 9 bikes is bad. In teams events, you can bully matchups with that.
Yeah, you definitely can. I guess if you're able to get a couple of little assassins or something in there that can perform actions and stuff like that, so you can still get your secondaries ticking over. There's definitely some play there.
I had it with Scions.
Good call. Yep.
Scions and Custode bikes. It goes together like a glove.
Definitely does.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe that's something we'll see across the table from each other one day.
Yeah, definitely. So going back to the game there, we'll see that all those Vanguard vets are back in Wadey's box there. He's put them away.
Back in the box.
wrapped them back up in tissue, and they're ready to go home.
Because that's if he goes down this round, that's kind of all she wrote for those guys. I mean, he has one more game. It could be actually
he has one more game, mate.
You know, it'd be really sick. I would love to see Wadey versus Savage next round.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, it'd be funny of the two because I think they're good mates. They own a gym together mates. Or something. So,
and it's an amazing matchup between those two armies.
And there's nothing better than when you come to a tournament and just play the person you play all the time at home. There's
exactly right. Well, it's tradition.
It is tradition. It is tradition.
All right, so we're going to be going into Wadey's turn 2. I'm interested to see if he slings another big unit this turn. I think he doesn't. I think he leaves the center of Eric's line alone and just comes in from the bottom, in from the top a little bit. But mind you see he's got a unit of Repentia there. I'm not sure if you guys can make it out. The leftmost ruin or crate, whatever it may be, just below them is a unit of Repentia. And we still know there's one off the table that can come on this turn. So I'm of the opinion that Wadey should have a little bit of a static turn. Use the shooting as he's got. His bolters do get good value here. Use the shooting, use the bolters, throw a couple of crack grenades, whatever, so be it. But try not to commit anything big until he sees where's that third unit comes down.
Yeah, I think what we're finding again, the problem might be with Oath at the moment there. The center table is Eric's starting to push forward to be able to take that from Wadey, where Wadey won't be able to get in there because it seems to me there's the canesses under that terrain piece on the left-hand side in Eric's deployment zone. Yep. So a bit of a counter-assault unit. So if Wadey does start to come in there, which he needs to get Oath at the moment, he might find himself losing units.
That's what I was saying, George. So Wade needs to get rid of Eric's OBSEC. He needs to start chipping away at it. He needs to start making some significant inroads, but he needs to do it with stuff that's not a huge down trade. This is why, so when I was talking to Wade during the interview, I was like, maybe you might want to combat squad both your Vanguard vets, mate. Because that's kind of what I would have done. I do like the idea of him keeping one 10-man together for the play he almost pulled off turn 1, but having 2 5-mans now that can go in and try and pick up 10 sisters each, try and pick up 10 OBSEC bodies each. That's a big deal because each 5-man can go and do that. That would actually be a huge change in this. On top of that, he's got flame aggressors that can come out, possibly kill 2 units depending on where they get to on the table. Definitely kill 1 unit.
Your point there about combat squatting is a massive big deal, and I think it's something that a lot of like newish Marine players aren't comprehending very well because they're used to more Primaris Marines. So Primaris Marines don't really combat squad as much as older style, smaller Space Marines.
True.
And I find a lot of people here, like Wadey's got a lot of 5-man units rather than going 6-man units. Yes, I understand Blast isn't great, but had he taken the 6-man unit, that gives him the ability mid-game to be able to combat squad, especially against someone like Eric here with all these tiny little sisters. It takes away some of the hammer elements that is kind of holding Wadey back. And it actually gives him a bit more play with more units. He can play more of an MSU style with all these extra units that he's all of a sudden got.
Yeah, agreed. Just had a question. What is Stephen Wade's chapter? He is Raven Guard Successors with Born Heroes and Whirlwind of Rage. But yeah, dude, I totally agree. An interesting point here is that if you look at the meta of this 8-man, where are the blast weapons? The only blast weapons that I see is the 2 Scorpius Disintegrators that
Dan Savage's
list, and whether shock attack guns are blast, which I think they are. So that's
with the exception of Aaron Green, we're not seeing any horde, so there's no real reason to fill up with blast because unless you're tailoring to fight Aaron, and I don't think people would have thought Aaron would have brought the Orcs, because he's obviously a great Space Marine Dark Angel player as well. He plays a lot of Space Wolves, so being as strong as they are, maybe everyone would have thought that Aaron was more likely to bring Space Marines.
So I love that. So Tim CZ83 changed his name to a name I can't pronounce. Tim
Shazowski? I'll give that a crack.
Shazowski, yeah.
Sorry if I'm wrong, mate. Shazowski?
Tim CZ83 was far easier. But thank you for attempting. Love you, buddy. Whereabouts are you from, Tim? Whereabouts in this big wide world of hobby do you hail?
What about old Simon? I haven't seen Simon. He was in here this morning. I haven't seen Simon in a while.
Question. Do those 5 models of Wade's that have just gone deep into his opponent's line, is that 5 Vanguard vets?
No, they are his flame aggressors.
Oh, nice. That's a great position for them. So they're going to flame and kill everything that's not a Repentia and then charge. Actually, no, you should do the opposite. Do the opposite. Flame and kill the Repentia because the bastards deal mortal wounds when they die in combat. So flame and kill the Repentia. Don't take any chances. Charge deep into your opponent's lines. Try and kill a character or two, to be honest, because they can't be brought back twice. If you kill two characters, you can't. One of them's dead, proper dead. 5 points on engage on while we stand is gone, and then he has to bring one back and can't bring it back again.
Yeah, obviously, it's a bit hard to see the positioning of Eric's characters, but I know that the L-shaped terrain that they've got on the left-hand side of his, just above his deployment zone, has 1 or 2 canases in there, and the to the bottom left-hand side, that bit of ruin there, that's actually got them in there as well.
Nice.
So those characters are quite hidden. So yeah, it would be great if he could get into them, but I don't really like his chances there.
Nah, fair. Looks like Wade is trying to corral his mobility as well. He's still pushing up quite aggressively. What's right on the top? What's his topmost unit? Looks like he's got his smash.
He's got some attack bikes out there.
No, top left-hand corner.
Oh, top left-hand corner. Sorry. Okay.
So there's a unit of Repentia within.
So he's got the infiltrators on the top left-hand side.
Okay, that's a worthy trade. A unit of infiltrators for unit of Repentia you take every day in this matchup. But not. I wouldn't be trading the smash chappy. That I'm not sure if that's a crazy idea.
Yeah, well, he's bringing that around. He's actually the Blade Guard vets are holding oath at the moment, so that's what's going to be sitting there for the rest of the table game, I assume.
That is the best unit he's got for oath, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. What are the points for them? Like 120 points for 3, something like that.
35 points apiece. So
okay, so he's got 5.
Yeah, so it's around
180.
Yeah, 180, which is such value, such incredible value.
Yeah, definitely, and they're hard for Eric to shift. They are.
I think his combat squad at his second unit of Vanguard vets. I can see one of them to the left on his on the leftmost L, and the other one is to the. So one's to the left of the L, topmost L. One's to the right of it. So I think his combat squad at his other 5-man. I wouldn't be exposing all those at the same time. I'd be exposing just the. Sorry. One of these pieces possibly shouldn't be out there. Either the Vanguard vets or the Smash chap shouldn't be getting exposed right now. Because you're going to be giving up 2 valuable ones, and you might not need to. Because realistically, the Repentia can kill both those things.
Yes, definitely they can.
Or one of them cops multi-melters and the other one cops Repentia.
Yep. Plus the mortifiers are hanging around too.
Oh shit, where are the mortifiers? You're right.
Okay, so the mortifiers, the middle piece of terrain in Eric's deployment has one on the left-hand side of it. And then if you look in the middle terrain on the left, right underneath the ruin, sort of just on the left-hand side of the ruin, you probably can't actually see it on screen. That's sitting right there.
Nice.
So that's actually right near that chaplain.
Yeah. So Simon Gorkovic, those who don't know, incredible.
Simon's back. Hello, Simon.
Legend. He is back in the country after a year in Colombia with his family. He likes the ball position Wade is in, but he thinks Eric will have enough to push him out turn 3 onwards, which I totally agree with. I totally agree. Eric's just going to have enough stuff. He wouldn't have that stuff if Wade. Well, he might have that stuff if Wade just made a 6. If he just rolled a 6 on his turn 1, made that big chunky charge, he would have taken away a chunk of OBSEC and one of his hammer units. Possibly one of his hammer units. I don't think you could get quite that deep. But that would have been a huge deal. Huge deal. As it is right now, I think he's just going to have too much stuff.
All right, well, just as I've said, there are not enough people combat squad. Wadey has gone ahead and combat squad those Vanguard bets.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, yeah, 100%. He should combat squad at least one of them. The second one, I suppose, if he doesn't plan to do that big turn 1 play.
Yeah, definitely. It's a big call there. All right, so let's go back to all 4 tables. If turn 1 failed charge, yes, it definitely did, Simon. Yeah, failing that charge on turn 1 is very bad.
Huge.
Is there anyone else in the chat? Anyone wants to have a special look at any of the other games as we're following? We'll probably keep as much cover as we can on the top 2 tables. But feel free, if anyone's following home, got a mate that they're watching, just let us know.
I think we have gone into to Liam's turn 2. He got one of his trucks got charged onto that upper left-hand corner objective, and it looks like he's just fallen back. He's moved up his he's moved up everything actually. He's going straight in on that unit of 30 boys. He needs to kill one of his unit of 30 boys. This turn, a unit of 30 has to be gone.
Both trucks have just pushed forward as much as he can.
I really wonder what's in them. I'm really curious what's in them. Oh no, Mega Knobs. Mega Knobs have just gone out. All the Mega Knobs on the table now. You can see them. This is the all-in turn. And it has to be. He's going to lose the prime is just going to be absolutely cooked if he doesn't all in this turn. The problem is though, I don't know how he has a significant impact on another 30 guys, because whichever one he goes into, the other one just gets interrupted on.
Yeah, that's it. And if he doesn't wipe them all out completely, they're just coming back.
Green tides. It's just a big bunch of poor choices. We just had a score update on the game we were just on. Stephen Wade did get 14 points on his first turn.
Yep.
Sorry, going into the top of turn 2, so that would be probably 10 on primary for being even Stevens with Eric, and then 4 points for engage and oath, 2 points for oath. So that's my off the top of my head breakdown, and I'm pretty sure I'm pretty confident with that. But Nick, what do you think? What do you think about his plays here? What are his over/under chances here of doing enough damage?
Who are we talking about here? We're talking about Liam's list?
No, we're talking about Liam into Aaron. He needs to drop a hammer this turn.
He definitely does. Aaron's actually positioned Gaz back a little bit as like a counter assault unit, so I think that's a good play there from Aaron. Just having a bit of a look around here. Yeah, so he's definitely singled out the knobs have gotten out. Sorry there. I'm just trying to make... There's a lot... It's the same as like the Marine on Marine game. There's just Marines everywhere. This is just orcs everywhere. At least Aaron's a red, so that's a good call.
So Tim CZ, Liam is not using the strategy he mentioned, keeping one of the trucks near the shock attack on stop down and getting targeted. His opponent has no shooting. Like, he's just got sluggers to shoot.
Yeah.
So shock attack guns being in cover with a 3+ armor, they're not in any danger really. On top of that, for the shooting he does have, I think he's got grots underneath them, so he would grot shield them up, I believe. So yeah, I'm of the opinion he's not all that worried about that. He's got Mega Knobs that look poised to go into Gaz. He's got more Mega Knobs that look poised to go into Boys, and another unit of Mega Knobs looks poised to go into Boys. He's gonna chuck everything out in this turn. And
100% he is.
Yeah. Anybody know how many attacks each shock junk, jet, whatever, banger, wang, wang, wagon? How many attacks do they have each? I'm guessing it's like 4 or 5.
As in the Jets?
Yeah, that's the ones.
The Jets, he definitely has a strat. I think he gets to do fight twice with.
They
so
all
I was
get
looking it up previously.
That's his custom job. They always get to fight twice, and they'll all get to fight twice before any interrupts. They all do it back to back.
Yeah, that's it. And he's also got the ability to do a bunch of mortal wounds there as well.
Exactly right on the charge. So he'll get to fight with one of them twice, and then there'll be the option to interrupt onto the other 2. But as soon as another one fights, it'll fight twice, and then another one fights, it'll fight twice. So interested to see, because I mean, Aaron does have a hell of a lot of CP he can just throw around when he wants.
Sorry, you go.
We've got some boys getting picked up from that left central boys unit on that objective. I think he's probably got banners raised on 5 objectives now. Aaron does, which is
yes, he definitely would be
terrifying. So 4 attacks standard. Tim CZ has just told us. So look, they've got 8 attacks each.
Yep.
So 8,
with the mortals coming in, I think he killed 6 Terminators in one round of combat in the previous game.
Yeah, it's actually messed up. So he's going to have 24 attacks from those 3 on top of the mortal wounds. Look, he hasn't got awful odds of completely crippling 30 boys. Problem is he won't finish them with those 3. But he'll have.
That's where the issue will be.
I think that's where he has to have the Mega Knobs come in and finish it off. Otherwise, it's just going to get green tided, and he's made very little inroads. It'll get green tided into his backfield, and then it'll get jumped back into relevance.
Aaron's actually got a bunch of those Storm Boys at the top right-hand side of the table. So I guess that's for engage on all fronts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, this is such a good test of different builds because despite these both being orcs, they're completely different. They couldn't be more different orc armies, but they still both have a selection of commandos, Storm Boys, things of this ilk, just to be secondary enablers. It just shows you, no matter what level, like at the highest level of the game, everyone takes units to get points.
Yeah, 100%. That's their game in 9th edition, isn't it?
Exactly right. Tim CZ, I think they do D3 on a 2+ and then another D3 on a 4+, if I'm remembering correctly. But I could be wrong on that.
I've got them here. Actually, just give us a sec. I'll be able to find them.
Beautiful. So as from the upper middle, so the left-hand middle unit of boys has taken what I assume to be somewhere in the region of 3, 4, 5, 6, probably 7, 8, 9, somewhere in the region of 10 wounds, dead boys. 20 boys with 2 trucks left to shoot, possibly charge, and then unit of Mega Knobs. Still probably not enough to kill those. But maybe what he's doing is he's taking 2 units down to stuff 4 guys left, and then he only gets to green tide one of them. And therefore, he has made some inroads. That's the kind of play I'd expect from Liam. Like, I expect him to be big braining it one way or another. Like, e.g., if he does lay an egg and doesn't get enough damage through or clear the one he's trying to clear, at least he can't get. At least he's lost a lot of wounds from another unit. Look at those 2 heads. the receding. Never mind. We'll leave him be. You want to jump?
They're not here to defend themselves, so
That's right. Which is all the better. Do you want to jump over to the Fuller, the Grey Knights? I would love to see how the Grey Knights are doing faring against the Necrons.
no worries at all.
Thank you. Because it's a game I'm very interested in because I'm a big fan of James Fuller. He's a lovely guy. I stayed with him when I was at the LVO in this year actually. Jeez, it feels like 5 years ago, but it was actually in January this year. And it was a great pleasure, great company. I'd love to see him.
He's a good guy.
He's a great guy. I'd love to see him get up. He's got a pretty unique kind of wonky list, but I'm a big fan.
Yeah, it seems to be his play style, doesn't it? Because even the GK list that he had previously at the team's event was a little bit different. As Josh was alluding to earlier, he's been playing some Eldar with a bunch of different character shenanigans and stuff not. So that's obviously his gameplay.
So this is what I thought was going to happen. You see he's got 1 unit of race that's down to 1 guy left, and that 1 guy left has been wounded. I'm assuming that was a combination of astral aiming into them in addition to a bunch of targeted smites. And then we've got a big charge, which looks like a unit of 5, either 5 paladins that have been combat squadded, which I hope he didn't do, or 5
He only started with the unit of 8.
That's true. That's true. That does look more than 5 guys. Yeah, that might be his unit of 8 paladins, so those scarabs should get pretty chopped up. Fant Pants X12. What's happening from Nor9? How you doing, dude? What's the crake? The crake is this is the Queensland Masters, which is a state of Australia. This is their 8 best players from the last 12 months, or maybe the last 18 months. We've been generous because of not much having had gone down, and they're playing off to see who's the best player in the state is for this month. Nick, you're able to tell us a little bit more about this field?
Yeah, man. Okay, so as everyone knows, Eric Lathoris is the reigning champion, 2-time champion, playing for a third Queensland Masters here. It's only ever been done once before, and I believe that is by Josh McGowan, the guy that is running the event himself. So he's pretty poised at the moment to get that done. The scene is actually a few other dudes that have been coached by Eric. So Dan Savage and Eric Green, who are also part of Art of War. They're up there as well. Dan's been hot. He's been winning games after game after game after tournament after tournament after tournament. So he came in here as one of the hot favourites. He was very closely pipped by Eric in game 1. So unfortunately, we had to see that game 1, which could have been in the grand final. That would have been nice. Aram is actually playing Liam. So Liam is probably, along with Eric, the top 2 players in Queensland, maybe even Australia. So you could definitely argue that. You probably disagree with me, Adam, being from Victoria.
They're definitely top 5, undoubtedly top 5, both of them.
Yep. So Liam's obviously holding his own. He's got some orcs as well here. And then we've got some newer guys that we've seen. So Stephen Wade, Paul Gurney, James Fuller, and Braden Kilby-Francis, who are on stream with us right now, have actually had great years as well. So Paul Gurney's been playing Iron Hands for most of the year, and he's brought that here today. We actually thought he was going to get a little bit of an upset over Wadey at the start, but Wadey pulled through as we all saw. Yeah, so it's a very close tourney, very tight.
Yeah, it's real close. So it looks like there's going to be a lot of scarabs going down in this game right now. We've got a unit of Grey Knight Terminators at the top. You've connected into what looks to be only 3 remaining scarabs. They're not long for this world. They'll be gone in short order. And the same thing is happening on the bottom right-hand side. We've got a unit of Paladins, which has made it into another unit of scarabs, so they're dead too. There's a unit with flamey bases. Is that his characters?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, so he's got a swathe of characters into that unit as well, which is pretty nice. I mean, that's a pretty stable front he's got there on those bottom 2 objectives. And as I said, this is quite a hammer and anvil game now. But all those characters, all those paladins are looking down the barrel of what is right now 6 wraiths and a unit of 20 warriors. And if I was to predict, I'm expecting a Veil of Darkness to bring another 20 warriors over there as well.
Yeah, I definitely say that. So the back is back right hand corner. I don't know what's on that. Is that on what's on that ruin there? Is that a character on top there?
Right at the top in the
top right hand corner.
Yeah, 100% that'll be a character.
Yeah, so that's obviously what's stopping Braden from jumping over there, which would be very handy for him.
Exactly right. But I think do you know whether he's got the 20 Necron Warriors where they are now?
On the left hand side there, or the ones down the bottom middle?
The bottom middle. They just move up into rapid fire range, and he deep strikes another unit straight in behind him. It just veils one straight over.
Yeah, that's true. Reinforces the bottom there.
Yeah, between the 2 of them, 80 strength 5 shots into the Paladins probably puts them down, or probably puts them down so far that you don't care about them anymore. And then you can get a charge off into one of these characters, wrap it up, not take the fire in return. 20 Necron Warriors being wrapped against an army that no longer has a Paladin Death Star, I don't think you can kill him. well, you don't kill them quickly at all. Especially they'll be on objectives, they'll be double obsec, and I think that's a great strong play for the Necrons. Inadvertently, if they don't do that, they could find themselves being ground out in pretty short order. I would really have liked to have seen the Grey Knight player get a wrap off on one or two of these scarabs just to mess with his reanimations, where he can reanimate, where he can put units. If he got a wrap off and couldn't get shot in return, the only thing that could stop these paladins would be the Wraiths. And Wraiths versus paladins, I back the paladins to come out of that on top.
Oh yes, I definitely back the paladins there too. Definitely, especially the way you can buff them.
Mm.
All right, so why don't we head over onto Dan Savage's game?
Yeah, let's have a
with
quick
Paul Journey and see how they're going. That Land Raider is still alive there, cruising around the middle of the field, so everyone's loving that.
Shout out to Fanspants 12. Yeah, hopefully you'll tune in, mate. You're tuning in from Europe. It's 3:30 a.m. for him. What a champion! But go to bed, mate. Jesus.
Yeah, well done, mate. Go to sleep.
What do you see here, mate?
All right, so Dan's got those breaches, obviously in the top right-hand side there. His Scorpex are behind that, just chilling out, trying to get some no-look shots here. Obviously, that Land Raider on the bottom left-hand side is hiding as best as it can. I'm getting some updates from Josh here.
So right now, I can see that we're missing at least 5 breaches. So we've got 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We've got 17 breaches there out of a starting 24. So a couple
that
of
is
breaches.
what Josh has actually told me about. So that Land Raider has actually deleted 5 breaches.
Not bad at all. But if you can see, the mobility for the AdMech is really playing dividends right now. The bottom right-hand side of the board is just getting swamped in horses and puppies and Tyraxi. They're just all over that bottom right-hand corner. I'm assuming there's a bunch of extra units inside that ruin that we can't see. At least one more unit of hounds or dogs.
So on the bottom right-hand side of the screen there's a bunch of sterilizers in there. There's a bunch of raiders in there. They're all sort of hanging around in there. On the bottom left-hand side, there's a bunch of intercessors sitting over there for Paul. Nothing in the middle ruin that I can see, but that middle, so where that Land Raider is, that's actually where all these characters and Inceptors are sitting.
This one, I think, is just going to be a rough one for Paul on the primary. I feel like Savage can just focus on the primary and win this game comfortably there, because by getting the primary, he's going to get engaged. He's going to get his scramblers. It's probably enough to give him a pretty good lead. Now, inversely, I think Gurney has to get pretty active. All the stuff in the right-hand side of the table needs to be gone pretty much next turn. Otherwise, the primary is just going to get too far away from him. Very interesting that Savage has split up his brick this early.
Yeah, definitely. Well, maybe it's a chance of just feeling comfortable with it because he needs to get some firing lanes going on. He can't just sit them all together. If he's sitting them all together, he's not going to be able to just wipe out that Land Raider, which is obviously going to be a thing that he needs to do now, having lost 1 unit of breaches straight off the bat.
Well, because that's what happens. The Land Raider just peeks around whichever side of that, lets it see one guy from 1 unit of 5, and then he kills the whole unit and no one can shoot him back. So yeah, I agree. He does need to split up. You're spot on.
Yeah.
I'm keen to see how this game goes. It's looking pretty comfortable for Savage for me. And once again, this game's a hammer and anvil. Even the way they're saying hammer and freaking anvil.
Well, like all AdMech games, it's actually a all 3 corners sort of game. You find with every AdMech game, they just sort of have all 3 corners and pinch you into that one corner.
Yeah, it's true. There's just such a good board control. He's got such the good different stretches of the board. Like he's got the fast, decently hardy stuff in the Tyraxi and the sterilizers. Also the Tyraxi and the raiders and stuff. And he's just got bodies. He's got chunky bodies. Stinger 989. Unfortunately, yeah, it would be amazing, but this is an Iron Hands army. We're jumping around tables, brother. If you've been painting or not paying as close attention, so that is an Iron Hands Land Raider Achilles because Paul Gurney is a baller.
All right, so I've transitioned over to Eric and Wade's game again, so we can get a bit of an update there on what's going on.
Mm-hmm. There's a bunch less sisters.
There is a bunch less sisters. Those flame aggressors seem to be coming around that bottom edge of the table. They're moving in, doing some flaming. There seems to be some kind of characters exposed, possibly too. The Bladeguard vets obviously still just holding that middle. I'm just trying to see where. Okay, so yes, Wade's actually been able to get that chaplain into that mortifier. Nice,
good call. So I didn't see that mortifier there, but yeah, knowing it's there now, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that's true. Hold on one sec. I might actually give Josh a quick go on the stream.
Yeah, please do.
Give him a bit of a chat. Give him a bit of a fresh update.
Hello, beautiful people.
Hello, my man. How's things there?
Yeah, good. So battling in Queensland heat.
Yeah, what hot tidbits have you been able to pick up at the tables?
All right, so Dan won't ever underestimate the Land Raider ever again.
Yeah, well, because one turn it just went pop, 5 dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
Through Feel No Pain, everything just absolutely obliterated.
Yikes.
Fuller informed me that he did not mean to take Grind It down. He was thinking another secondary, but he's like, hey, it's sort of working for me.
Nice. Oh, good.
Happy little mistake there.
I thought that was yikes. We're like, oh, that's might be a mistake.
It's one of those hard things where I'm like going around. I'm like, I'll input it for him. I'm like, that one without going too far into it. I'm like, not saying you're sure, but nah. But it seems to be working for him. So they're having a good game. Aaron and Liam are having a good game. Like bit of laughs and back and forth.
Yeah, how do you see that one going? I mean, because this is the turn Liam needs to actually do a lot of work. Otherwise, he's going to get swamped, right?
Yeah, but I think Liam knows the timing as well, so I don't think he's going to skip a beat. So it's going to be grindy.
Exactly right.
Get Gaz into those mega knobs, and we'll see what happens.
How do you see this one playing out right now? Because right now, Steve Wade has Eric relatively contained. He has managed to do what he needed to do the turn previous and just kill a bunch of OBSEC bodies. Yep. And it made him expose and be able to eliminate 1 unit of Repentia. Well, Eric's got 1 unit in reserve. Where do you think that one comes out?
Depends on, you could just bring it in from the right there. You could then threaten his backboard as well, because it's like there's so many buildings out the back there, like top right looking across. That if he's getting charges in on that objective, it's like there's no shooting left to actually contest with them.
Yeah, I'm just going to double check. So Eric's got his bottom left-hand ruin, the one that the green tinge one. The Repentia, there's not a unit of Repentia in there, is it?
Slide up midboard on the left-hand side, so he's better there's only past it there.
Yeah, there's only one on the table. So he's still got one's being killed, one's on the table, one's off the table, is my assumption. So yeah, this should be pretty spicy. I haven't really seen anything I can identify as a Retributor either. So maybe he's left them off also.
Retributors in that building near his right hand now. There's a couple of multi-melters in there. But yeah, like I dare say this is the turn where Eric starts really dominating the board back because he's taken the brunt. Like, 2 Vanguard squads are down.
Well, so yeah, he's got 1 unit of 5 down. He's still got a 5-man left because he combat squad his other 10-man, which I thought was the perfect choice. The 5 Blade Guard might be an issue if he doesn't have any Repentia to go into him. I don't, because they're not good targets to kill with multi-melters. The 4+ in bonds and then he can transhume. Makes it really awkward.
I think he will grind out his CP and then hit him with a character bomb.
Yeah, the character. Exactly right. You spot it, mate. The characters are just such a freaking headache, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, so like all of them, it's like 3 damage. He's got the blender canoness as well, so he's got the they'll do work.
Absolutely.
So, but even then, it's like he's got the miracle dice that it doesn't really matter. Like the Blade Guard that can charge a character, he'll resurrect it. And it's just like, well, we're still just on objectives.
It's yuck.
Like he won't lose things to. Like, it's not as devastating when you're dealing with characters getting resurrected.
But on the inverse, like he can't, if he slings out a character and it goes into the Blade Guard, it doesn't kill them, dies, that character's dead, It gets back up and it just dies again. Interesting to note, you said the Smash Captain Smash Chappie, went into a mortifier. Doesn't look like he killed it.
I'll have to double check, but yeah, it looked that way.
Yeah, it's surprising. That guy is an absolute beast. Maybe he didn't get off his canonical. Maybe he wasn't sort of fully buffed all the way. Exaltation of Rage.
Rolled terribly.
Yeah, or just laid an egg.
Yeah, what was that, sorry?
Looks like he's got another modifier. Is this getting poised to put some heavy bolter shots into the right-hand side of the board? Look, the objectives are still looking pretty safe for Wade. I mean, Wade took all the objectives on his way through to getting aggressive. This is Eric's turn 2, so he still has plenty of time to get back onto the middle of the table.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like Wade, he only got the 10 points, didn't get the 15 first turn. So it's like Eric's very poised for late game. So he's taken the brunt. He's and he's dealt with the threats, and now he's starting to move back out. And I don't like Wadey just doesn't have the weighty units back.
How many wounds is a mortifier? Is it 6?
Yeah, 6.
6. So yeah, that's Smash Chappie with having like 6, 7 attacks on the charge, depending if he goes canonical up, hitting on 2s, wounding on 3s, 3 damage.
Yep.
He must have rolled bad. So
Yeah.
Zephyr _1 has just said, or he just rolled really well and he's feel no pains.
Oh,
Yeah, he has to roll freaking crazy.
It's sixes, man.
It's
Oh, we never
possible.
know.
Yeah,
How many sixes did we roll for Miracle Dice first game? So sixes could be in the pool.
Yeah, look at Eric's Miracle Dice now. They look all to be over 4.
Yeah.
The dude's just a freak with the Miracle Dice.
So
He's got the There you go, mate.
I was just saying, I'm like with the boys. Basically, they're all using bare bones Chessex dice cubes that I bought. So
Nice.
I just went, there's no drama, no whinging, no carrying on. It's just like everyone got a random dice cube at the start, supplied by myself. Like that's it. So coronavirus, we're getting hold on to it, and then I'll sanitize them afterwards. But yeah, so there's no, like they can't complain about dice, because everyone's just got the same essentially. So it's funny though watching some things like Fuller and Liam. Liam's like, oh man, I'm so sorry. He's like, it was like seven sixes out of 8 dice. In one of the rounds, and it was like Daka, and I think that was coming from scrap jets and all that sort of jazz. And then like Fuller's like, don't worry, I got saves. It was like 6 1s. I'm like, well, there you go. Like,
oh, yuck. How much better dude, Grey Knights are going to be so much better if they get a true apothecary and with their extra wounds. They're actually going to be
100%, man.
Even if a Border Witch stays the same, they're just going to go up in efficiency and damage. Efficiency and reliability so much.
Yeah, well, Border Witch isn't an auto anymore because it's all of a sudden you go, can you kill 10 wounds in 5-man squads? And
exactly
so
right.
Like,
exactly right. Because literally, if I was playing like a regular, with some of the lists that you see out there, you just start 15 points up. Turn 1, kill 3 and it's a strike. Sick. You're 9 points down. It's stupid.
Well, the defensive strats to the fact that like you pretty much can. Not so much transient, but you go neg 1 to wound and all that sort of stuff, and you're getting free CP all the time. So you go, I can just keep recycling this defensiveness.
Yeah.
Over and
Admittedly,
over
they're going to lose transhuman in the new decks.
Yeah.
Because primaries only, but they'll be
neg
fine.
1 damage, neg 1 to wound, still pretty sexy.
Yeah.
But it was like that's what we were talking about. A couple of guys we stayed at the venue last night. And it's like everything's death card at the moment. They're like, oh, you're liking it, you're not liking it. I'm like, the change to discussing resilient compared to everyone's taking multi-damage guns now. And you go, I went to 2 wounds and I ignore 1 damage. I'm like,
it's phenomenal.
So you don't have to roll your 5 up? Like, that suits me down to a T.
Yeah, I mean, I think it speeds up the game a little bit and stops some jank and shenanigans. I personally am a big fan, though. I think it's just fine. People are complaining that it's a downgrade. I think you're not looking at the meta as much as we are. Because everybody's tooling to kill Marines. But as for this game, so Eric's just making a couple of little adjustments. He's looks like he's deep struck is it Seraphim or either that or he's used a 6 on one of his advanced dice to really slingshot into the sisters up into the top left hand corner. They're taking down what I assume is 2.
That's Seraphim.
I thought it was Seraphim, because I thought that would be a too big a move for a single unit. So unfortunately, Wadey's left that position exposed. They're going to come down. They're going to control both his objectives. If there was banners on them, they're now gone. It's a pretty big swing. He's stayed pretty stable on the bottom right hand corner. Look, he's made very little inroads. He's probably pretty safe to just, like I said, turn this into a hammer and anvil, contest the 2 top objectives, plateau.
I think Eric's just. He's doing the sneaky. I'll just transform my deployment zone to the left and play lengthways.
Yep, he's gonna plateau his and match him on the secondary. So sorry, on the primary, and then start eking away.
Because you got the shield, the middle L, where his hand is now with the rolling dice, where that little gladiator symbol is. That's where your blade guard bets are. And if you look at his distance in between that, it's like, well, you're not charging anything in the next 2 turns.
That's right.
I think he's actually just pouring firepower into him now.
Well, there was 5 Vanguard. There was 5 Vanguard that were out onto that, and they're picked up. Now he's putting fire into what I assume to be the Blade Guard in the middle.
Melters.
Yeah, this is the multi-melters going into the Blade
Guard. So now
he's
just like, oh, cool, you've taken my bottom objective with 2 units, and now I've shifted my entire army halfway up the board, lengthways. So it's like, good luck charging again.
Well, as soon as the Blade Guard are gone, he loses his ability to score Oath, and he's going to have to put something like attack bikes in there, and then they're just sitting ducks for more multi-melter shots.
If you're trading a unit for 1 secondary every turn or 2 secondary, I'm like, I'd take that trade.
In the Marines army, absolutely. Marines can't do this. Eric can do this. Eric can run out 5 girls to pull down a battle, let him die, do it again, and he can do it every turn of the game. I suppose that's where the power comes in taking his brigade. Yeah,
well, it's like, as I said, Steve did nothing. Well, killed some stuff, but like in the grand scheme of things, really, like that's it. He has to come into him. And Eric's like, well, I've got all the fusion in the world. You know, like after the fact, plus character bombs and all that. So
We
it's going to
just
get
saw.
really ordinary
Apologies.
once Steve runs out of. Yeah, exactly.
Didn't pick up on this, but on the right hand side, Eric put his unit of Repentia onto the right hand side, and they've charged into the bottom right hand ruin using Miracle Dice to make that auto charge. So man, Eric's taken both of the essentially both of the flanks in this deployment, because it was a vanguard, the flanks at the top left and the bottom right. And now they've both been taken by the sisters. So he's done his good old horseshoe.
100%. And it's just like, when you've always got Repentia in the third, it's like don't go within 18 inches of a board edge.
Yeah. Yep.
But
and the other unit of Repentia,
that's where the ejectors are.
I think the Repentia just charged into the top left into that unit of infiltrators and the smash chappie. Interested to see which one of them he attacks with first, because there is a potential for an interrupt from the smash chap. And you wouldn't interrupt with what I assume is 2 or 3 infiltrators. But I'm not quite sure what's in the bottom right hand corner. I'm not quite sure what's in that ruin.
Steve, a very enthusiastic grin, just gave me a big thumbs down. So,
yeah, he is cooked with a big old double C. Unfortunately, it's mostly because he failed a 6-inch charge turn 1, which could have taken a big chunk out of Eric's army before he got to do anything with it, and he just laid an egg, and bang, it's just been all the other way since. Yeah. Are you able to tell me what's in the bottom right hand corner there? What's in that ruin that just got the Repentia charge?
As soon as Eric gets out of the way. He's only little, but he does take up big spots.
He's thick.
It's a lot easier because it's nothing now.
What was there?
It looked like plasma inceptors or bigger models.
That's the paddling. That's rough.
Yep. Yeah. So like we talked about on the stream, you're like, oh, can such and such kill whatever? I'm like, Repentia kill everything.
They kill
everything they touch. They kill.
So the question was, I wasn't sure if they kill 10 breaches in one go.
Yeah,
definitely they kill 5 like no tomorrow.
5, no invuln. Yeah.
Yeah, but do they kill 10? I was thinking they probably kill like 8 with the Philip Pain.
What was it? The first game he killed 4 servitors, 4 hounds, 5 breaches.
Yeah, 5 breaches.
Whatever. And it's like that was it. Like I'm like, he kills 10, and he didn't even attack twice. I mean, he just hit.
Yeah, so they are they're so good. They're so good.
Well, because you got the full zealot. And you've got exploding 6s. It's like you're re-rolling a lot of dice to get more 6s to proc into 2 hits. Like the amount of stuff that goes through him is insane. And like you remember too, he's not near his magifier when he's doing this. Yeah. So they're only strength 6, but I'm like,
and he doesn't have a priest either to give him +1 attack. He's just doing it off the raw power of the units.
Yep. So you can definitely just turn, like he's got some strats and stuff, being Bloody Rose, where you can get +1 to wound and whatnot. But they're deceptive when they go, they're only strength 6, and they sort of, you stuck around with your mass, and all of a sudden you go, out of their 30-odd attack, there's like 6 6s.
Yes, exactly right.
So that's 12 hits, and then I get to reroll all these into more 6s.
Yep.
It's insane.
Zephyr_1. Yes, I'm of the opinion he always takes the exploding 6s. He just chooses it.
Yep.
It's just so much better than anything else. Maybe if he was playing against like a pure shooty army, maybe he'd take one of the other ones, or he'd roll it. But he'll always take it. It's Bloody Rose. He's invested in the combat phase.
Even Valorous Heart, when you exploding 6s is still nice. Like even on your characters, nothing else. Like unless you go and see, there's a lot of armies aren't running like smite bombs anymore. So it's like everything, because like the neg 1 AP or the additional shot for shooting is like after you hit and wound on certain dice, you get this. So I'm like, with the combat, it's just when you hit something, you roll 6 and you get another attack. That's it. So.
Morrisoli's just pointed something out. You can also get the +1 advance and charge, which is also really good. I actually really like that versus things like Cerberus Raiders.
I think Sully just needs to roll more 6s for his miracle dice.
That's right. Do what Eric does. You don't roll under a 4 for your miracle dice, and it's not a problem.
But the +1 advance and charge is pretty sexy as well, especially with Bloody Rose being able to charge after the advance as well. So,
getting an 8 from reserve with a miracle dice is just such a piece of piss. Like it's so joke.
Yeah, 100%. When you have that one unit, what is it, George? He's saying 6 on the that, and then 12 on the charge. So it's like 20 odd inches plus their movement. It's like you can smash into someone's deployment zone. And really cut off.
27 inches out of a rhino you can just reliably do 27 inches.
Yeah,
it's silly. Okay. Where's Nico at, mate? Is he taking a break? Because he probably needs it.
He's just walking around. Do you want him back?
No, it's all good. You stick with us, mate.
No, he's coming back now.
I was hoping we get over to the Orc on Orc Love Fest.
Oh yes,
see
definitely.
how many dudes Liam's managed to kill.
They would love to see another game because I'm a tech retard.
Yeah, dude, so am I,
But yeah,
man.
I'll give back. But love your work, and
Love you too,
I'll
brother. I'll
keep you
see
guys
you.
lifting.
Please come back in another half hour, 45.
Too easy, boys. Good job.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah,
Morrisoli,
I can't do it.
look at these guys. Look at you nerds discussing how to make your sisters work better. Just get
I
out.
know how to make them work better. Just chuck the dice in Eric's hands.
That's right. Looks like there are some more breaches that have been deaded from savages, and he has done some. Looks like there's some wound dice on the Land Raider. But where we want to see that orc on orc love fest.
Yeah, man, I'm taking this there straight up. So that should be table 4. Boom, here we go. Okay, so there's been some big plays here. As you're about to see when it comes straight up on your screen.
Yeah, give us your rundown, brother.
All right, so there's actually a fair few boys that are starting to get chewed through here. Liam has a lot of things. He seems to be controlling the center of the table there with those the jets that he's got there and a bunch of knobs, I think they believe they are on the top up there. He's actually on more objectives than Aaron is. From looking at it when I was over there before, I think he's actually on 4 of the 6 objectives.
Yeah, he's looking pretty hot, isn't he? Solly sassing me in the chat. Mucha. No, I won't Mucha. But yeah. Looks like he did manage to get through that one unit of orc boys, and he did take a pound of flesh out of the other one. It looks mostly gone. So we should probably be seeing a green tide at some point. But yeah, this looks like it's probably going into this. Actually, this looks like it's still the top of turn 2. To be honest,
yes, that's correct. That's exactly what it is. So Aaron's having his turn 2 now.
Yeah, yikes. Gaz is going to do a big deal. We're going to see a green tide. Another 30 boys will be deployed back on this. But the big deal here is Liam's been able to make positive inroads to leveling out the primary, which is what I thought was going to be the issue. I thought,
yeah, as well as that, obviously he's taking away Razor banners from him as well as the primary. He's actually taking off banners as well.
Exactly right. But yeah, that's what I thought was going to be the issue. If Liam can get all the secondary points in the world against Aaron's army, but if he can't level the primary out, he's just going to get run over. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so we've got Josh going through, so we might just do I'll just do a quick run through of all the secondaries as we have them up. So we should have they should refresh pretty soon, hopefully. So let's go back to all 4 tables, and then we'll go back. See what we've got here. There we go. So Wade and Eric has updated. So Wade is up 18-8. I know you have probably already covered it already, but the Repentia have come through and gotten rid of those aggressors. The Primaris Chaplain's actually gone again by Repentia. So what we're seeing is Eric's just tallying them up with some Repentia there.
It is, yeah. He's just using the Repentia really well, making sure, guaranteeing that they all do something due to miracle dice. And yeah, they're just ridiculous. Yeah, Repentia meta, guys. Repentia meta. It's a
new hotness. That and orcs. That and orcs.
Yeah, dead set. Orcs are doing great. Liam, impressing me to no end. There's 5 Meganobs coming up the middle of the board, supported by Gaz in tow. Gaz himself will probably go and eat 5 of these Meganobs by himself, and then his Meganobs will go into another unit of Meganobs. The issue there is the Meganob or Meganob one. If the where that is good is that Gaz looks like he's unhurt, undamaged, so he doesn't have to fight first. He can get interrupted on, take 4 wounds by 10 Meganobs, and not give a stuff. His Meganobs get the charge. They're probably going to get a bull charge, so they get an auto charge into those 5 Meganobs in the middle. They eat those for free. He can interrupt if he wants onto Gaz and just do 4 wounds. Doesn't matter. Doesn't care. No big deal. Gaz will still eat 5 Meganobs back in return. Where it gets interesting is when he brings on 30 boys. I'm assuming he's going to green tide. I don't think he lost 60 boys in their entirety. I'd be really surprised if he did. So I'm expecting to see a green tide. If you look to the left of the board, I think that's either 5 Storm Boys or 5 Commandos that have come on either from the side or have double jumped up with the Storm Boys advancing, etc., etc. George is where the scrap jets. They're on the right of the table, Matt. They're right in front of those, right behind those 10 Meganobs.
The big oval bases that are there. So
biggest bases
to the right, just off the center below. Right near Gazgol.
So yeah, interested to see the green tide come up. How much? It looks like we're losing a couple of inches of the table below on Aaron's side. Is there anything on there that you can see, Nick, that we can't see on the stream?
Not really. There's not really much there. Liam's actually positioned some of, so looking at the screen, bottom right hand side, right near the book there, Liam's positioned some Storm Boys, I think, around there. So obviously helping him with, I believe he has engage, so obviously helping him with engage there.
Yeah, Liam's racked up a lot of points in this last turn. It'd be 3 for engage. He's still sitting pretty on 15 for while we stand, and his deploy scrambler should be very close to being completed already. So his turn 3, he should be getting scramblers finished up, and his secondaries will be looking very healthy.
Yeah, well, the issue here going forward, obviously, that it is only turn 2, so we're going to have to see these boys speed up a little bit.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. How much time we got left in the round, do you think?
What time did it start? I think maybe 1:30, so maybe looking like an hour, something like that.
Yeah, I'm guessing there'd probably be about an hour left. So yeah, these guys need to get a motor on. But mind you, Liam's helping along greatly, killing around 60 orc boys. That's going to speed things up nicely.
Yeah, he's definitely doing his part.
He's doing his part for us all. Appreciate it, mate. Looks like he's just picked up and redeployed a unit of commandos, and it looks like they're going to be going for a charge onto the left-hand unit of whatever they are. I'm guessing those are commandos. So commandos are commandos.
Yes.
Love it there. These guys, they're going to be having to play it tight because they're both going to be leaving themselves exposed to interrupts in a lot of these key combats coming up, which could swing things in a lot of different ways. I'm a really big fan of how Liam has used the Meganobs to screen the scrap jets from Gaz and those Meganobs. Having the scrap jets that'll be able to jump onto home objectives. They're very good at clearing out these 5-man Storm Boys, 5-man commandos, and pulling down banners later in the game. I feel like keeping them alive is actually a big deal. The Meganobs have actually almost done their job already, getting rid of like 30 boys, and now if they pop, you're not that big a deal.
Yeah, well, that's what Liam said. The Meganobs all started on the table. They weren't actually in those trucks there. They were all on the table. And that's what he was using to get knuckle deep as soon as he could.
Well, yeah, exactly right. I would assume they were empty at the start simply because he wanted to put them out, let them get charged. But naturally, you can't risk a unit of 5 Meganobs in a truck getting wrapped because your opponent rolls a 12 on the charge, killed the truck, and then the 5 Meganobs just die because they can't be placed. So, yeah, I'm of the opinion he should have kept them empty, and it looks like he did.
Yeah, he did. So we've actually had a score update. So this is going into Aaron's turn 2. So Aaron hasn't had his second turn yet. So he hasn't been able to have a chance to score any primary, but Liam's got 5 on the primary. He's got 5 for engage, and giving him a total of 10, where Aaron's got 2 for vital ground, which is actually the mission data intercept and engage on all fronts. So he's on 5. So
doing
it's
good.
Very close.
Yeah, well, the fact that Liam was able to give him a 5-point primary is actually freaking huge, considering the 2 armies that we're seeing here on the table. That's gigantic, because I guess the assumption coming in was that it was going to be Liam trying to get 10s and Aaron getting 15s, and but now he's able to give him at least 1 5. That's a huge deal.
Yeah, that's great for Aaron. It's a big call.
Do you want to jump over and have a look at Savage's game? Or either that, or please take us to Fuller's, whichever one you prefer.
There we go. What do we got here? We got Fuller's game. So we've actually got some VPs up for those boys too. So I'll quickly run us through them. So neither boys have scored any on the primary. Grind them down. We've got James on 3. Linebreaker. He's done his little character trick that we spoke about with getting his 2 units in one go. So he's done that and got for 4. And then for the data intercept, he's got 1. With the total VPs of 8. So looking through at Braden Kill to be Francis. So the treasures, that's obviously a Necron one that I'm not familiar with. On 4, while we stand, we fight. Obviously, game's not over, so he's on 0. And vital ground again, data intercept on 1.
Look in the top right-hand corner, mate. What do you see?
Yep. What am I seeing here? I'm seeing a bunch of, what are they? They are green on my screen. There are a bunch of GKs. No, that's a Necrons everywhere. That's a bunch of warriors. Yeah, he's jumped up over there.
He's veiled him into his home objective.
Yeah, he definitely has.
That's cool. I like it. Good play.
So so we did discuss earlier about a character being around there.
Yeah, so he probably dropped down there. He's probably gunned down that character. It's probably no longer
I think I can still see that character on the top of the ruin there.
Oh, snap. Maybe he's there. But it looks like they've made a charge either way because, naturally that you have to come within 9 and they're a lot closer than 9. So, yeah, it looks like he's made that charge, which is pretty spicy. But apart from that, I haven't seen a huge amount of damage. I don't see a lot of dead GKs. The race.
Now, I don't mean to cut you off there, but we actually have a done game.
Which one?
Wadey and Eric.
Jesus, what happened? Wadey got wiped. I had a feeling Wadey only had like 2 or 3 units left at the end of that turn. He might have just been like, "Yeah, I ain't moving out anymore. This is pretty much just going to be the end of it." So what was the total scores there? Very
Right. So the scores are being worked out right now, but Josh has just come and told me pretty much. Eric's just come through and wiped him out. He's just taken out some units. He's come through the backfield, Repentia, whatnot, doing their tricks. They got rid of the aggressors. They've got rid of all the infiltrators on the side there, and he's just completely wiped him out.
It was just going to be like at starting his turn, he had 3 Blade Guard veterans, some attack bikes, and a couple of characters. And I was like, yeah, this is cooked as going to get.
Yeah, I can't see what he's done to actually remove those Blade Guard bets. So it's obviously done through shooting because I can't see any combat units around.
It would have been multi-melters. Repentia would have gone up. You know, the Repentia within the bottom right-hand ruin. They would have just gone straight up into the attack bikes, picked them up, and then it would just been characters, and they probably would just been from there, just been safe to call it.
Yeah, I'd say that's what would have happened. Eric would have had his 2 free turns of just moving around, scoring his objective, and he would have got away with it. So there we go. It's 92-31.
92-31. Jesus. Well done, Eric. Big play.
Well done,
Naturally, failing the 6-inch charge turn 1 when you make a huge play with a whole unit of 10, a 200 plus unit of 10 Vanguard, and then just not making a 6. That swung this phenomenally. Swung this game. Whether Alex Drew would have won, I believe he still probably would have won. But Jesus, he wouldn't have got 90 points. No way, no how he would have got 90 points.
No, but again, it's just pure win-loss, this one. It's just win 3 games and you're the master of Queensland. So
that's right. That's absolutely right.
I might see if we can get Eric on for a chat, actually, while he's free, because we didn't get him in the previous round. So
yeah, please do that.
He's coming over. Got his swagger on, he does. So I'll chuck him on now.
Beautiful. Thank you, mate.
Is there a push to talk or anything? No,
nah, I can hear you, mate.
Bro?
How you doing, brother? Good to hear from you. Well done.
Thanks, man.
Were you worried when he had the guys with the 6-inch charge? Were you like, oh, this could actually be real freaking bad?
Not really, man. I think he was only trying to charge 3 units of sisters and a mortar fire.
Yeah.
So I mean, it hurts, but it's not.
He wasn't removing. Yeah, he wasn't removing your killing power. He was just removing your whole power, which I thought was a good play. I thought, hey, if he goes in, takes away a bunch of your obsec things that you can't sling down, pull down banners, pull down things like that. That's a good plan. That's good enough.
Man. I didn't take banners this game, but so I kind of figured he was going to get really aggressive. But
things you could use to pull down his banners.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like he clued on. He probably wasn't going to beat me in a game where we're playing really tricky and gimmicky, like skirting around the table, like a bit of a cat and mouse. So he kind of just went all in and see what he could get.
That's both the strength and weakness of his list. When he does all in, it's like one of the biggest hammer blows in the whole damn game. But he can't play cagey, can he?
Yeah, that's it. Like I think it was a good call. He wasn't going to beat me in a cat and mouse game. But the problem with the matchup is I've got nothing for him to really sink his teeth into. It's all just units of like garbage. So
yeah. Man, 3 Repentia, 3 units of Repentia, a couple of Retribution, just table people. Just table.
Yeah, that's it, man. Yeah, like the outflanking Repentia as well, having that 3rd unit. Over the 2 units that I had in the team event is a lot better. Same thing against Dan. Having that 3rd unit really made the game for me.
So you're going to be playing one of these Orc players. Which one would you rather play?
I'd rather play Aaron.
Would you rather play the list, or would you rather play Aaron the player?
Probably the list.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
I think that's a good call. I think Liam's is a lot more than it looks like on paper.
Oh yeah, it is. Absolutely, man. That list is really hard to play against when it's playing really cagey.
Yeah. The fact that he can just burst out mortal wounds as well is actually pretty heinous. In a lot of ways. But this one's really interesting. So I doubted Liam's ability to put down 30 Orc boys. Yeah. And not only that, he put down close to 60.
Wow.
In one turn, which I thought was outside the realms of possibility. I thought there's no freaking way he kills 2 units. Maybe he only kills 1, takes 10, 15 guys off another. He's going to be getting and there hasn't been a green tide here yet either. So it's really interesting. Right.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
It's going to be. I'm assuming it's a late game green tide, which I do quite like for Aaron. Make Liam commit, and get a really big, meaningful late game green tide rather than just throwing it back into a meat grinder early game.
Well, I would think Liam can open the game well, but I think he's going to get edged out.
That was my thoughts as well. He can all in him, but there's so much more diminishing returns for him than for Aaron. Isn't there?
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
And plus, Gaz is actually a really big X factor here. But surprisingly, Liam handles Gaz pretty well because you can do all the models on the charge phase. You know, Sags kill 4, take off 4 wounds. On the
it's very true.
Dragsters take off 4, and then they do another 4 in combat. You can kill him in 1 turn, which is actually really rare.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a really interesting matchup here. Looks like 1 unit of Meganobs has already been picked up by Aaron's unit of Meganobs. And yeah, man, I'm really, really interested to see how this one goes. On the other game, with so I didn't get to chat to you after the Savage game. What were your thoughts going into that one? Because I know that matchup concerned you.
Yeah, that's my worst matchup of the event, man. And on the worst mission, so I wasn't feeling great about that one. I had an idea in my head. I was talking to boys yesterday. I said to him, if he takes grind them down against me, I'm going to get the win.
Dude, dead set. We said the same thing. We were just like, he's just given Eric something to play around, and it might backfire. But I was also of the opinion that he bled himself out too early. Like he turn 1, he put stuff up to pull down banners and to stop you putting banners.
Well, that's the problem with his secondary choice, right? He took things that are going to contradict themselves. Like he wants to, he wants to rip my banners down, but which would be fine. That's a good idea. Like that's what he needed to do. But if you're going to do that, you can't grind them down. You can't
exactly. He's just getting in his own way, mate.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I was of the opinion he could still technically grind them down and thing, but you don't start doing that play turn 1. You start doing that play turn 3 when your Repentia have come on the board. They've been screened out or denied by the Raiders, and then your line of sight shooting has just been working on the multi-melters the whole game, working on trying to get the multi-melters down. But yeah, doing a turn 1, he just bled himself white, and then the Repentia got in, just did whatever the hell they want,
Yeah, well, the Seraphim opened up a hole on the right-hand flank during the movement phase, so let me get in a big charge, and that kind of ended the primary game for him. That 1 turn of scoring 5 more than him I knew was going to be enough for me to get the win.
Yeah, exactly right. I'm of the opinion that's almost the same in this game. And Liam was able to give Aaron a 5-point primary in turn 2, which I thought was actually a huge deal.
Yeah, for sure. The problem with the only issue with doing that early is like the amount of resources you commit to doing that, right? Like I think we just saw like Gaz just picked up all those megas.
5 megas just gone from Gaz.
So that's like I think Liam, especially the Green Tide in Aaron's pocket, he might run out of steam.
Well, Liam needs to spread now. He needs to shoot. He needs to not go for. Well, if you're going to go for Gaz, he needs to guarantee he goes down. Otherwise, he should just like move advance all the scrap jets away and just spread across the board. Zone out the Green Tide for next turn, and just be an absolute nuisance. Because he can do that. He can move advance, just spread out entirely.
For sure. Yep.
It could be a good play.
I don't think Aaron would mind where the Green Tide comes in. Just having the bodies back on the table is good enough.
That's dead set. Right now, I'd be putting him in the bottom right-hand corner. Because top left-hand doesn't need 30 boys. Looks pretty secure. Bottom right-hand is ripe. Absolutely ripe.
Yeah, 100%.
What are you seeing? So, Fuller, you looked over at Fuller's list?
The GK list, yeah.
Yeah, it's that feels like a list that's right up your alley. It's something you would take.
It's not bad at all. I think people aren't giving it enough credit. Like there's no bad choices in that list.
But at the same time, it's a list that needs to be used very well.
Yeah, it is. GK have to be piloted really well. They're not in the greatest spot. But that being said, he's taken the right units to not give up a Bore the Witch too easily. The only thing I'd say to James is put that chaplain in your list, man.
The chaplain. Just to put the defensive buffs on the paladins, yeah. Yeah,
man. Yeah, or even not so much defensive, but the neg 1 AP litany. Like so now that Astral Aim unit with strength 6, neg 2 damage starting to do some serious work.
That's legit, isn't it? Any questions in chat, guys, for Eric? Please just chuck them up, and we'll lay them on him. Might be one of your best chances. I do like that Aaron is using a dice app. Praise be the dice app. There's no way he does any 5-turn games.
He just couldn't fit his wheelbarrow through the front door, man.
Love it. How would you? So with your Sisters army, I think there's a lot of accepted people saying, well, I'm certainly saying the Repentia are too good. How do you tone them down without turning them into another Aberrants? Like, how do you tone them down 1 notch so they're not like the best thing in the game and not sink the ship entirely?
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. It's pretty hard, dude. Like, I mean, I suppose you could make them hit on 5s with 4 rerolls. Like, make them weapon skill 4 base.
Yep.
I don't know, that's...
How many points?
Sorry?
How many points would they have to go up, do you think, to balance them for how good they are?
Probably 20 points a model.
Yeah, that's a lot. What are they now?
They're 15 now.
Mm.
So it's a big jump, but
That's a big jump.
man, yeah, like both games, yeah, they've just
won.
gut the opponent. Like
Just like
they're,
straight
yeah,
up won.
they're stupid. The other thing that's stupid is the Celestians. Yeah, they're ridiculous. Those units are stupid.
Well, it's 1 point more than a regular sister, or is it 2 points more?
Yeah, man, 1 point more. You get the bodyguard rules, like the lookout stirring, which is already ridiculous. It's already ridiculously hard to kill canonesses.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah,
they can pass wounds off. They have a lot of attacks. They get the full rerolls and can get full reroll to wounds.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're so good. 1 point more, man. Like you can't not run them.
You can take 10-man squads, yeah?
Yeah.
I'd love to see 30 of them. I think that'd be sick.
Yeah, same. I wish I could run 30.
Tim CZ has asked, are you sticking with Sisters for a while or back to the Forces of the Hive Man next year?
I haven't really decided yet. I've been looking at Necrons a bit, to be honest, but Tyranids and GSC will be staying on the shelf until new codex.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion. If you want to contest,
it's hard. It's too much work, man. It's too hard.
I think teams events you can still make a list for sure.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
But singles they just can't go with these.
Yeah, I'm also just not interested in playing that army for a while. So I have a break. Play something that's actually got a bit of punch. That's fun.
Yeah, and got some like interesting list tech that hasn't been exactly the same for like 4 years.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Some unexplored elements. What do you think, Eric? What does Liam do from this position? Looks like he's gone into Gaz. He's done a couple of wounds, and now he's fallen back from him. He's got a scrapjack going through the middle of the table as well at the moment as well. There's 4 or 5 meganobs for Aaron right next to that right hand L. Above them, looks like the tank busters have just walked around the corner above them. They're going to put some. They actually might do a lot of work, a lot of damage there. To the left hand side seems to be all Aaron. There's only 1 truck over there for Liam. Everything else is just Aaron. Interested to see what he slings over there to get his last engage point. I'm of the opinion he can't not get 3 points on engage if he wants to stay in touch with what Aaron's about to do. So he needs to kind of bomb something into the upper left-hand corner, but I'm not quite sure what that is because I can't see any more Storm Boys and I can't see any more Commandos on this table.
Yeah, is are all the mega knobs out of the trucks or?
Yes, they're the only ones. He's got 1 unit of 4 left.
Okay,
from what it looks like. So the sum total: 3 SAGs. He's got the tank busters. He's got the scrap jets, and he's got 1 unit of 4 megas. I'm not sure he's still got the punch to do what's necessary.
Yeah, I mean, it depends if those. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty interesting, man. Like, there's not many boys left.
If you look at there's a red dice on that the bottom left L, which has a 1 on it. I haven't seen a green tide yet, and if that's his CP, there will be no green tide this game.
That'll be a big problem for Aaron.
Huge deal for Aaron. Yeah. Well, as soon as Gaz and the Megas go down for Aaron, he might be cooked. If they both go down, he actually might be cooked. Just because he won't have boys won't be able to catch what Liam's got left, and Liam could just start running around. This still. I'm really happy this is a game. I thought Aaron might have a chance if he went first to just steamroll out pressure Liam. If Aaron went first, he gets onto all the mid-board objectives. Liam goes into him, doesn't do enough, and just rolls him over. But Liam having 2 turns to get in position and do damage on and isolate 2 units of boys, it really helped him.
Yeah, see, I would have probably played this a little bit different for Aaron. I probably would have just picked one side and just overload that side with everything.
Well, hammer and anvil. I keep saying this game just turns.
Exactly.
This mission is just hammer and anvil in different.
And then as soon as he does that, Liam can't just isolate 2 units of boys, right? If he's going to do damage, he's going to take a heap of damage in return, and he can't afford to have that.
Have a look at Aaron's secondaries. He's gone for Vital Ground, which is the mission secondary, intelligence, whatever it is. Engage and raise the banners. Raise the not sure about. What do you think?
Yeah, I wouldn't have taken banners here.
I probably wouldn't have taken the banners here either. What would you have taken instead?
You could have gone. He definitely could have gone Bring It Down in this game because Liam has to use the vehicles.
Exactly. And Liam has a bunch of 5-mans. He's got 3 times 5 Storm Boys, a bunch of Commandos. He's got the Gretchen. There is a lot of reasons to want to take Grind here.
I wouldn't go Grind. I'd probably go Bring It Down, the vehicle one.
Oh, the vehicle one. Yeah, apologies. Yeah. So 2 for each of the trucks, 2 for each of the scrap jets. Yeah, that's 12 points there.
Just because Liam has to use them in this game, he can't afford to just run away with them.
Yeah, I mean, he can't win without using the scrap jets, 100%.
Yeah, so it kind of puts that pressure on him a bit.
What do you think about Liam's? He's got While We Stand for the SAGs. I think that's a very safe bet. Engage and deploy scramblers. Actually, that's just what's there to say. He's just taking the safe, boring secondaries.
Yeah. See, it's hard, man. So I would only take those if I was going to back myself to win primary. So if Liam backs himself to win primary here, that's interesting and it's pretty bold. If he can do that, that's pretty sick. But I'd be pretty nervous taking those secondaries in this game.
I would have taken While We Stand and Scramblers. I'm not sure I would have taken Engage, man. Yeah, Engage I'm not sure about.
Yeah.
Because he's got the units.
I don't know. I don't really like Scramblers in this deployment against
That's true.
with these lists either. Yeah, that's probably the one I like the least.
So you would take Engage over that?
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's fair.
Because you just play for the 3 quarters. You don't overreach for the 4th.
You play for 10 points from it, but it's the same 10 points as Scramblers.
But it's a lot easier to get, man. Scramblers are very all or nothing.
There's a gradient to it as well, so you can get 6 and fall short.
Yeah,
get 6,
like if Aaron denies you Scramblers, that's catastrophic.
Yeah, that's actually absolutely right. Looks like Gaz has taken some wounds. He kind of needs to go down this turn, doesn't he? Especially seeing as he's got those 2 scrapjets right next to each other, so they have to charge Gaz. Like both those scrapjets have to charge Gaz.
I'd probably be surely he's going to go down.
Yeah, surely.
Well, I don't know how many wounds he's on, but surely he goes down.
Yeah. I mean, the scrapjets shoot pretty well as well, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They have a bunch of 3 damage shots.
Yeah. So it's pretty likely. But as for so the issue there is he gets one of them to attack twice. If that one doesn't kill him, he can't interrupt. Sorry, apologies, you can't interrupt. He's only 1 CP. Never mind. Never heard of you. Whatever.
Yeah. That's a problem if he's only on 1 CP.
You got any ideas of how the Savage game is going?
No idea, to be honest, bro.
No, fair call. Don't worry about it. Why? So we thought he was doing a cheeky meta call when we didn't take demons, because naturally, I think everyone expected him to take demons, but a few of us paid attention when he took this same list a month or 2 ago, and it's interesting that he kept it in his back pocket for this long and whipped it out at this one. Because it's very easy to meta for people in an 8-player event. Do you think he called it right?
Yeah, I think so. I think he'd really struggle with the demons here.
I agree.
He'd go down to Aaron, go down to me, and go down to Steve.
100%.
I had a pretty good feeling he was going to take Admech, and he thinks I should have taken Valorous Hard if that's the case, but Valorous Hard still doesn't stand up to the Admech. So.
No, that thing is that Admech list is messed up. I'm interested to know if 25 breaches is the right amount. For some reason, I feel like 20 is better.
I think you get away with 15. To be honest.
Yeah, that's it. Because I'm starting to lean away from one. Because you end up having to break up the brick at some point. Yeah. You'd rather just take one brick that you don't care about leaving together because it's only like 500 points.
And just take more fringe.
Stuff. Get more tech. There's so much freaking tech in that book. Get one of the birds to drop some mortals and shenanigans their movement phase. Turn off some auras. There's all sorts of crazy crap you can do with that book still.
Yeah, that's what I'd be doing. I don't think you need that many breaches.
I think it's overkill.
It also is like if you go second, you don't have the Feel No Pain up. Yes, if you play against another shooting list, you got 20. You're not going to hide 25.
Yeah, exactly right. You can
probably hide 15.
Yeah, exactly right. And then you can just line aside the disintegrators because naturally you're always going to take disintegrators. But I'd like to see his list with some goons in it, and I'd like to see his list with some priests in it, like one boat of priests. Yep. Maybe the Ballistari I meant, not the Dragoons. Unfortunately, the Dragoons are trash unless you take a couple of singles.
And that like I don't mind them like that. Act as like the same sort of deal I got the Mortifiers for.
Exactly, yeah, spot on.
Yeah, like it's not too bad. I don't know if Gaz just got picked up.
Yep, he's gone, and we were pretty sure it was going to happen. And the Megas are down to 3 left.
I think so.
Which does mean the tank busters laid an egg, but they're hitting on 6s. It's likely they lay an egg.
The scrap jet's into them now too.
Yeah, so we've got to see what kind of mortals it does in return. But I mean, if he kills 1 mega, does two megas don't kill a scrap jet, do they? Hit on 4s.
I don't know, man.
Four attacks each, 4 hits, and then wounding on 3s. Yeah, it looks like he did pick up 1, and he's going in for his second round of attacks. He picks up 1 more, and that scrap jet is 100% safe.
Yep. Interesting.
So ask, how is Eric using 2 whole miracle dice for charges?
That's
It's a strat, yeah?
No, that's Matt that I'm coaching from the States. So up till recently, I wasn't aware that I could swap both dice out for my charge roll.
How do you swap out both? What lets you?
It's a FAQ, man, because the charge roll's a single roll.
Yuck.
Yeah. So I came to Matt with this with this information. I was like, dude, this is ridiculous, and he was like, oh, you. What do you mean you didn't know that? Like,
Solly, Solly's in the chat. Did you know that, Solly?
I told Solly a little while ago.
Don't tell Solly. Jesus. I gotta play that guy. Tank Busters Tank Busters charged the Mega Knobs. Looks like they're piling in now because naturally with one CP you can't interrupt with the Mega Knob, so it's going to have a whole unit of Tank Busters to take off one or two wounds off the last Mega Knob. So yeah, dude, that Scrapchat is safe. Those Mega Knobs are gone. Gaz is gone. This is tilting a little bit Liam's way, but Aaron could still bleed him out. It's just how did he green tide and we just can't see the unit? Like I can't believe he would have busted all his CP and not green tided.
Yeah, it would be a bit of an interesting call on his behalf, I think, if he didn't save for green tide. His green tide would
win this game.
But yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know what he used his CP on because he doesn't spend many pre-game, does he?
Just the Scar Boys.
Yeah, so four for Scar Boys and then one for the biggest boss. So he spends 5 out of his 12. So yeah. So maybe he did a couple of the fight. He could only used a couple of fight twice. Is the only way I can see he busted a bunch of CP, which is interesting. Oh, wait, does he spend one for Warped as well? He does because he's got Bull Charge and a jump, and he likes to use both in one turn. So yeah, it starts with 6, but still, that's one fight twice and one green tide.
Yeah, and you shouldn't really need to fight twice.
Nah, not in this matchup.
No.
I wouldn't think.
So.
If he fought twice and all 3 scrap chests are still there, you wasted your fight twice.
Yes, 100%.
Because that's the only reason I think you want to fight twice. Because they fight twice into you fight twice back with like the 15 guys you got left, just to get the claw to attack twice and kill 2 of them. Because you wouldn't even do that into 5 Mega Knobs. You wouldn't fight twice. There's no point. You still don't kill him. But
yeah, no, not at all. No, it's a waste of time.
Yeah, waste of time, waste of dice. So right now we can see there's 1 unit of Mega Knobs left. They have gone into the bottom middle ruin of Aaron's. And he's got a truck all the way into the left-hand side, probably just picking him up engage points. 3 into scrap jets have spread out across the bottom right-hand corner with a truck behind them. The dead pile is what's in the bottom right-hand corner. Those I don't believe those are living units from Aaron's. I think that's dead dudes. And he's still got 3 shock attack guns sitting in his back. He's got a unit of tank busters in the central middle. They're probably going to get charged and killed by that unit of 30 Orc boys. Because this is a mission where you don't need to be sitting on your objectives to hold them, he can safely move off, replace them with a unit of commandos or whatever he's got to take over instead. I'll just post up the list. Simon's all over it. Thank you, Simon. I'm just going to post up the list for Freakstorm. How do you feel? Because it's starting to look like you're probably playing Liam.
I feel okay about that game, man. I'm not overly worried.
I mean, Repentia love going into Mega Knobs.
Yeah, I got all the tools. Yeah, I got all the tools to fight him. Yeah, we'll see. The mission's not great for me against him, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he can cut through all my stuff.
No, totally fair. We have had some score updates. So Paul Gurney versus Dan Savage. It's currently 24-24. James Fuller versus Braden Kilby-Francis is only 8-5. So they probably still have to update their turn 3 scores. So that means they're probably somewhere in turn 2. That's an interesting game. Kilby-Francis is playing a little bit more cagey. He's trying not to engage with. But I thought he would have the damage to, like 2 units of Necron Warriors, going into 8 Paladins, yeah? 80. What is it? That's 80 strength 5 minus 2 shots. They just kill them, don't they?
Probably not in Tide of Shadows, man.
See, that's true. Actually, I didn't think about Tide of Shadows. But surely then you kill like 4 or 5 of them, and then they can't pick up 20 Necron Warriors anymore, and you're not really scared of them that much. Because the issue is like through shooting and charging, they can kill 15 out of each squad.
Yes,
and just do a lot of good work. Interesting. Whereabouts is Nick, mate? Do you need to take a break?
Yeah, he's just next to us. I might pass you back.
Beauty, man. Good luck. We'll see you on the top table.
No worries.
I look forward to seeing what you can pull out. Well done.
Easy. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Nick back in the hot seat. Not quite.
Adam.
Hey mate, this game has taken a bit of a turn. How does it feel out there? How are the boys feeling? How's Aaron and Liam doing?
Oh, they're under pressure, man. These boys. It's a tight one. It's a close one. I think they're obviously a bit under time constraints there, so they're trying to rush things to make sure they get a true finish, which is admirable.
Beautiful.
For both of them.
That's what we
so
want.
that's good.
To see.
Yeah, no, they're both playing really good. Liam seems to have a lot of tricks coming out. Aaron's obviously run out of a lot of dudes. Gaz dying there was obviously a big play from the scrap jet. That was a big play.
The Meganob's going down. I think there might be one left. But the Meganob's being neutered, not taking any scrap jets down. And he's only got these 3 Orc boys, and there wasn't a green tide in this game, was there?
I don't believe there was, no.
I'm very interested to see what he dumped his CP into. Because a green tide right now, this turn, if there was a green tide here, I'd be saying Aaron would get this pretty comfy. But I have no idea now. I think it's leaning Liam's way, but I wouldn't say that with much confidence.
Yeah, looking at the table, I think it's in Liam's favour here. So he's obviously doing really well. Looking at having...
You go.
No, you're right. You go.
Are we able to get a switch? Chuck us onto one of the other tables?
Yeah, okay. So Paul, let's have a look at Paul's game. Table 2. Here we go. Paul and Dan Savage. So this is a pretty tight game, man. 24 apiece.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, actually, it's crazy close. How are you seeing it at the moment?
Well, what's happened here, Dan's obviously found out that Land Raider is able to delete 1 breacher unit per turn. So, and as you mentioned earlier, he's just popping his nose around the corner and absolutely wrecking a unit. So he's movement-wise, he's a bit stuck, old Dan. His screening units that he's got seem to all have been gone, so he's got some down the bottom right-hand corner, which is just sitting there for engage. But he probably needs to start doing something about tying up that Land Raider.
Yeah, he needs to. Well, it's too late now. I think he's run out of time to tap it and do anything meaningful to it.
I don't necessarily mean kill it. He just needs to be like, even if he's getting his screening units just sitting in front of it, just to stop it from driving around, poking its nose out.
That's true. That's true. Getting all those angles. He's got 1 unit of Cerberus Raiders. It looks like that's right on that middle objective. Yeah, if he was to be able to scoot those around and get a charge from out of line of sight, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's definitely a big deal. So inside that terrain next to him, that orange terrain that they've got there, that's where the assault scents are.
That's spicy. I can see him now. So as for screening units, it looks like he's got 1 unit of Sulphur Hounds back on his home objective. I'm interested to know why they're there, why they haven't been used or thrown up yet.
I'm not really sure. I'm not sure why are they the Raiders on the bottom right-hand corner?
Yeah, so there's 1 unit of Raiders. So there's 1 single Raider on the middle right objective, bottom right, and then there's 1 above that as well. So he's got a couple of little bits and pieces, little pieces here. But man, he starts with 24 breaches. What's he down to? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's down to 9 left.
Yeah. And he just can't. So the Land Raider is actually on 14 wounds still. He just keeps coming back up. So he's actually not going to be able to deal with that.
He's almost run out of time to kill it now. It's probably just going to live and keep doing what it's doing. That's
George's
baller.
George is pointing out that that's a trend, down losing all those screens, and I think that comes down to him taking them in 2 small units. I think he had 9 3-man units, where if he's looking at having maybe 4 or 5-man units, he could actually have some substance there, and people won't be able to just knock them straight over. Yeah,
especially if they're in Shroud Sum or whatever, was toting the 3-up saves standing in the open, and being Stygies, -1, 3-up save, become really, really painful to try and deal with. And maybe that is the key to making them last a little bit longer. I mean, like I said, he's still got some bits and pieces here. He can still go tap that Land Raider. But yeah, like I said, it's actually too late to start tapping the Land Raider. It's already done all the damage.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to get rid of the Land Raider. So that's probably something that I would avoid myself, and I'd probably just focus on the primary if I was Dan. That's something I could take away from Paul.
Agreed. So is there anything in the top left-hand corner? I just saw some hands going into that ruin, but I can't see anything back there.
That is actually the opposite side of me, so I can't see that at all myself.
Fair enough. No stress. Looks like Dan's trying to line up some shots into that ruin, so there must be something on there.
Yeah, I think you're right there. It looks like if you look there where his hand there.
Yeah. This is George is saying 15 breaches, 2 to 3 Scorpius is. There's a little shadow. Inquire into the shadow. We need to know. Information must be shared. But yeah, this is looking pretty tight. So close. I mean, we're saying that woe is me. He hasn't killed the Land Raider. But at the same time, it's not like Paul Gurney's on 5 objectives or anything.
No, that's it. It's still neck and neck. They're actually 24 apiece. It's
exactly right.
Tight as it could be game.
And those Raiders, they have just gone and they have just taken one of his home objectives. It looks like. So he's going to start stifling his primary a little bit, which I think is probably what you said before. He wants to focus on the primary because Gurney's army, it doesn't have a hell of a lot of MSU. Or speed, whereas that's exactly what Dan's got in spades. He has a lot of speed, a lot of mobility, and a lot of jank. So he could, those Cerberus Raiders, they're dead. They're dead as shit. They're standing in front of 5 Assault Centurions. They are so dead, it's not funny. But if they cause a 5-point turn for Gurney, it could be game winning for Dan.
Yeah, so Dan has the ability to match him definitely on secondaries. But if he can get ahead on primaries, I like Dan's chances of getting this.
I agree, absolutely. Well, as of right now, Dan will give him a 5 because this is hold 2 for 5, yeah?
Yes, correct.
3 for 10. Yeah, so right now the only possibility is he's got something in the top left-hand ruin that he's trying to get the breaches to be able to get line of sight on, and then the land raiders on that other objective. So this will be definitely a 5-point turn. And then, literally Paul has to make some big plays, otherwise he's just going to get smashed on the primary. Interesting. How much time we got left in the round, mate? If you know?
About 20 minutes, I think. So we might go back to table 4.
Yikes.
We might just stay with there for a bit because there's about 20 minutes left. It looks like, I think turn 3 the boys are on here, so it looks like they've finished that. They're just going through some scores here, so let's have a look and see. I'll bring it up bigger on my screen. So Aaron is definitely starting to lose some boys there, man. So he's got a bunch in that bottom. What is it for you? So that the top left-hand corner, there's some boys hiding behind inside there. So he's actually got some boys sitting on the objective still, and he's got some boys on the right, on the bottom of that actual same terrain piece. There is actually some boys of Aaron's on there as well. So he's still holding 2. And then that bottom right-hand corner, I believe Aaron's still holding that also with some commandos.
Man, this thing is tight. This thing is real tight. The issue is though, like Aaron's key pieces are gone. Like he's running on fumes here, whereas Liam still has a lot of his heavy hitters. E.g., he's still got his scrap jets, still got his shock attack guns, still got a unit of mega knobs for God's sake.
Yeah, he's definitely doing a lot of work with those scrap jets.
Oh, the scrap jets have won in the game. They killed Gaz. They put down like almost 30 boys by themselves. They are his everything here. Take note, someone brings 3 scrap jets, just kill the bastards. Kill them. Just kill them, man. Do not mess around. But yeah, I mean, he's lost 10 mega knobs. Well, he's lost, I think it's 11 or 12 mega knobs. But he hasn't lost his shock attack guns. There's 15 while he stands. That's
it. They're just sitting there. I had a bit of a chat to him while I was walking around too, seeing if he was using those Gretchen or Grots, whatever they are, underneath it. And he said, he pretty much just uses them. You move them forward in the shooting phase so that people target them rather than the shock attack guns. Yeah, so that's a nice little bit of tech there.
Yeah, with the Grot shield. Yeah, it's not bad at all. There are some armies that won't care, like they will just shoot through the Grot shield and get them anyway. But there's none of them here. Like definitely not Aaron's army, no. No, definitely not. I mean, in Wade's army, Wade could do it. Wade could shoot straight through him. He wouldn't care. Or either that, or he just needs one multi-melter shot to go through the Grot shield, and he just kills the dude. Because you couldn't re-roll the Grot shield anymore. I don't think you can re-roll the Grot shield anymore because it's not a save. So if you just roll a 1, bang, just a multi-melter shot.
Yeah, I think only specific things. So I don't think you'll be able to re-roll that.
Yeah. Nice. Look, this is really close. I wish we could just get an absolute down to the wire points update if we knew exactly how many points these guys were on. Because I'm of the opinion they've gone into top of 4, and we don't know what their round 3 scores were at all. So maybe, I don't know, throw something at McGowan.
I've just done exactly that, and he's slowly wading over. So I'll just throw you over to James's table for a sec.
Yeah, let's have a gaze. I'm interested to see how the Necrons are doing, and the Grey Knights. Yeah, who's joined us in the chat? Who's stayed the course? We got one more game after this to crown the essentially the best player in Queensland for 2020. A bit of a compromised year, but take what you can get.
Yeah, so everyone stay involved and see if we can see if Eric will or will not go for the 3-peat.
Yeah, 3-peat. It looks like it's going to be, we know it's going to be Aaron or Liam. But talking to him here before, he actually thinks he's better into Aaron than he is into Liam because he's worried about just the amount of jank that Liam has.
I would agree with that.
I'd agree with that as well. I mean, the thing is, though, Aaron's army is just very, you can formulate a game plan against Aaron's of how you contend with it.
Yes.
Liam just does so much wonky stuff. It's just hard to get a cohesive, anything going.
Yep.
My plan would just be to kill everything. Liam's got an army, make him not have one.
No, that definitely. I would be very surprised if we see Eric just go for the throat against Liam.
Nah, you can't. It's just going to be a really cagey game, and I actually would love. I can't wait to call that game if it happens.
Yeah, I was secretly hoping that would be the final all day. Those two boys are obviously the best two players, ELO wise, everything wise in Queensland.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it'll be good to see them two going for it. It's two off-meta lists as well. Some sisters and the Orc lists that we see here aren't regular lists, so it's going to make for good viewing.
Absolutely right. If you focus a little bit on this game, we had 6 race, I think, went into a unit of Terminators. They have eventually won that battle. I think it's been 2 rounds of combat. They've finished those guys off. He has really avoided the Paladins. The Paladins are still there with a bunch of characters in the bottom right-hand corner governing that quarter of the table. And the Necrons have the rest. They've just been like, spread out. And I was afraid that was what was going to happen. Another 6 objective mission is just plain bad for the list that James is bringing. Because you can just 100%. Be like, I'll just put enough into you to get you bottled up, and then I'll just spread out. And the only thing I need to worry about is you getting a 9-inch charge from a Gate of Infinity, which is so unlikely.
All right, so I finally have that score update for
the Orc game.
Do you want to run us through that, Adam?
Yeah, sure. As soon as it comes up on mine, I'm a little bit delayed because I'm watching this from home, guys.
Yeah, need you here, mate.
Oh, so primary right now, Liam is up by 5 points, 15-20, vital ground. So that is, I think it's 2 sites have been investigated by, the 2 bits of the actions have been done by Aaron for 5 points. Engaged North Front is 7-7. That's pretty much what we expected. 1 turn of 3 and a couple unit turns of 2. Raise the banners, 3 points for Aaron Green. That is his home objective, the one in his deployment zone, and the ones in the 2 top left-hand corner. He has control those for the majority of the game. And then, of course, they'll get 10 for Battle Forge. So it is currently sitting 30-27 Aaron's favour. But as you can see, Liam has just pretty much finished his turn 4, and there is not much Aaron left.
Having said that, though, looking at Liam's, so while we stand, we fight, there's a 15 and that deploy scramblers. I would say there is no way the player of Liam's skill, he has left that gone unknown, especially knowing the game is going to start finishing early. I think you would definitely already have that wrapped up also.
So literally right now, Liam's up by 22 points. Rather than being down by 3, he's theoretically up by 22. When it all gets said and done, I think that pretty much locks it up for Liam. I can't see him getting... what does Aaron do to get points now? Like, I think he's pretty cooked on the primary. I don't think he has any Orc boys left. His bottom left-hand objective and the bottom right-hand objective are both things he can contest. But apart from that, the rest of the board is being denied to him. And I'm really, it's not how I thought this was going to go down.
Top left-hand side on the screen, I believe it is. That has some Orc boys under the ruin, but that is
perfect. There you go. Yeah.
But apart from that, Liam is definitely outnumbering him on the primaries.
Well done, Liam. He's going to get one. Liam's probably going to get a 15 for his next turn on primary, and then that's going to be his turn 5. We will see a natural conclusion of this game. There isn't much left for either player to do, but Aaron unfortunately is going to be going down here.
Hard luck for me, Idlewood brother.
Fair enough. No, but they are the 2 best players in the state.
100%.
I'm very happy they get to play in the final round.
Yeah, I'm pumped to see this. It's going to be good.
So
Idle War versus the normal Wokes.
Yeah, so it's going to be Savage versus Green. Is that correct? Or would it be Savage versus Wade? Versus Wade. Wade's got a 30. Well, sorry, actually, we don't even know that. We don't even know Dan Savage is going to win his game.
Well, let's go over there and have a look. So there's a lot of scores going over there. So score-wise, they're still on 24 each.
Yep.
Obviously, the breaches, we're starting to lose a few more breaches. So we've got that 1 unit. It must be 2 units because there's a unit of 6. So there must be 2 units there. That's looking pretty close, though. I would say primary-wise, you'd think it would be in Dan's favour. So I would like to think that Dan's going to slightly creep ahead with the primary here.
Yeah, I'm assuming. We'll see where the Service Raiders went. That's going to mean that the next primary is only going to be a 5, and Dan's most likely going to be getting a 15.
Well, Paul Gunn is actually bringing those assault sents back onto that objective.
He has to. He has to bring them on there. Otherwise, Otherwise, he'll give him a 15. He needs to give him a 10. Yeah, and we don't know what's in the top left-hand corner. I'm of the opinion that there was a lot of measuring going on, a lot of line of sight getting for the top left-hand corner from Dan. So there must be something up there of Paul's that we can't see. And so
Dan is actually pricking up a lot of those raiders that were through the center of the table there. So those raiders are now gone.
Yep. Yeah, they'll be absolutely kaput. He tried to do the runaway. He tried to do the runaway when they got charged, and he must have still made the charge. He must have rolled high enough to still get to him, and then it just picked him up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, being close to the end of the game, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, three, well, it looks like only 3 assault cents left. They kill like 10 Service Raiders. Yeah, no chance. Man, what a baller. Look at that freaking... Guys. It's Queensland Masters. It's 2020, so it's a bit of a wonky year. But who in their right mind would have thought there'd be a freaking Land Raider here actually doing work?
Literally carrying the Space Marine army that he's brought.
It freaking is, isn't it? It's carrying them. It's hilarious. This is literally a Matt Morrisoli-esque Plague Hulk moment. Yeah, so those who don't know, we call Sully the Plague Hulk, not because he's a husky lumbering gentleman, but because he summoned the Plague Hulk in a Deathwatch matchup when he was playing demons into Deathwatch, because it was the only thing that demons could summon that's a vehicle, and it's also a demon, so the Deathwatch couldn't win it on a 2+. It was actually freaking clutch. It didn't win in the game, but it was freaking clutch, and enough of a meme that he got the moniker. We might be doing Paul Achilles Gurney, Paul the Land Raider Gurney or something.
Yeah, it could be.
Drop that Iron Father off. Land Raider Achilles is cooler.
Paul the Land Raider.
Paul the Land Raider Gurney. I like it.
All right, so while the action's going on, I'm going to go back to Greeny and Hackett there, because that's obviously
yes, please.
The big game that we want to see.
Exactly right. We need to see the conclusion there. From my count, they've got 15 minutes left in this round, but that should be a pretty comfortable finish. In fact, they could probably just talk it out from here. But
I think, there's mostly discussion going on at the moment. I think that's just discussing over the fifth turn.
Yep, so one of the scrapjets has zoomed across in the top left-hand corner. It's going to be picking up whatever it was stationed up there. I think you said it was 5 commandos.
Yeah.
They're going to get picked up either by shooting or by charge. So the whole middle 4 objectives have all either been contested or held by Liam. So I don't see there's any way around it that Liam's going to win, especially knowing that he has another literal 25 points to add on to his score.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, I think Liam's wrapped this one up very nicely. Hats off to him, man, because it's a very wonky list. I don't think many people could get away with playing it, but Liam definitely has the skill to be able to play it.
He's leveraging the mind, the psychological ability of he knows what it does and you don't.
Yeah, speaking to him earlier too, he sort of moved on to Tau as well. So he sort of just already moved on from this list and he's had enough of this.
Moved on to Tau.
He's just going through the motions. He was telling me, he's got some Tau lists that he's working on. That's what he plans on playing in the future.
He's lying. I don't believe that for a second. We'll see.
We will see.
Playing Tau.
You're not a fan of Tau, mate?
Jeez. No, him playing Tau. It just isn't me.
Oh, you don't see it happening?
No, don't see it happening. He'll play a couple of games. He'll read, they're bad, and he'll move away. When they get a new book, he might be back. But people say that about Tau because you look at their profiles, you look at the amount of fire you can get,
true.
And then you try and play him, and you realize I have no obsec. Nothing can fight in combat. Anything gets touched is now useless. I give up so many secondaries, no matter what kind of skew I try and go for.
Eventually you just start bringing more and more drones into
your drones cost so much. But maybe he's got some hot sauce. I wouldn't put it past him.
I wouldn't put it past him. No one was going to tell him to run shock attack guns and trucks and scrapjets.
So that's right.
He's definitely making that work.
That's true.
Yeah, so I think the boys are all wrapped up there.
They've wrapped up.
Liam's finally starting to relax, I think.
Aaron's racking up his stuff. So, that'll be game over. We'll see what the score is here. We'll probably tune out and take as much of a break as we can. And we'll come back with you with the what happened with the fallout from Paul Gurney and Dan Savage. Also, actually, can we switch to Fuller and Kilby Francis quickly? Because we haven't seen the last bits of their game state yet.
Yeah, no worries. There we go. So they're actually wrapping up as well. So everyone seems to be wrapping up.
I'm probably of the opinion that McGowan's come past and put the hard word on him. He's pretty he's pretty staunch with his end times, which I like. I don't like people being wishy-washy about it and letting some people get more time than others. Just everyone stops when everyone stops.
Tim's mentioned in the chat that it's probably just Liam going for a challenge with Tau, so it's a good chance. But he was rating him. He was loving him. He was loving all the stuff that he could do with him. So
cool.
He seemed onto it.
Cool. We'll see what he does. I'm sure it'll be interesting to say the least.
Do we have much Deathwing Bruce? I do not think there's any Deathwing here at all. I think Braden is our usual Deathwing player around here, and he has actually jumped ship for the Necrons.
Yeah, I definitely am a Dark Angels player. I don't believe there's any Dark Angels at the actual event, either the over or under event. But I'll double check for us real quickly. No, there is 0 Dark Angels, unless some of these are dead to start. These guys have got mixed.
Nah, there's no Dark Angels.
Nah, 0 Dark Angels at this event, which is a shame. It's a shame. Pour one out for the DA. They're my boys.
Well, actually, Aaron's actually a Dark Angel player as well. So
yeah, Mr. Green as well. He plays he's a weird unit. Dark Angel, Space Wolves, and Orcs. What a eclectic. Yeah, Sammy B _ AU. Yeah, he is playing Deathwatch, and looks like he's doing all right. The old
he had Keller's
double
Necrons in the previous
double
the
Denise.
previous
Let's see how he hasn't got his scores in for this one yet. So it looks like he doesn't. We don't know if he's won his next game. Justin Lay, who's playing the Renegade Knights, he actually won his second game as well. So he's sitting pretty at the moment. 193 battle points. He got 100 in his first round. He got 93 in his second.
I do have a live leaderboard, so let's bring that up and have a look and see what's going on.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at as well. Let's have a gaze.
There we go. So we've got Justin Lay coming in first with the Adeptus Astartes, coming in second. So this is obviously a combined of both. So we'll just go through. I'll try and pick them out as I can. So in the under tournament, so 1 is Justin Lay, 2 is James Keller with the Necrons, 4 is Nick Argent, who we remember from the team events, running a very similar list. 5 is Wayne Russell, 6 is Denise with the Death Watch, and then 7th is James Horsley.
Very nice. Mr. Justin Lay, let's quickly run over his list just so that people can get an idea. So he's running Imperial Fist Successor with Whirlwind of Rage and Master Artisans. He's got a Primaris Tech Marine as his Warlord with Storm of Fire and the Eye of Hypnoth. He's got another Techie, and then he's got 2 units of Assault Intercessors, 1 unit of 10 regular Intercessors, Ven Dread, Ironclad Dread, Redemptor Dread, 3 multi attack pikes, and a Rapier Carrier with 2 impulses just for the lulz. So all mech all the time, no backward steps, everything mech'd, everything just slaps. That's interesting, very interesting. That's the kind of thing you can see really go to town in like a small RTT, and you just kind of dodge some of your worst matchups. But man, good. He's got a 100 and a 93. This guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, 100%. I'm liking it. I'm loving the Redemptors. I think they're actually really good. They're 4 damage on the fist on the attack. That is mental.
Yes, I can attest. Redemptors are phenomenally powerful. I ran through them for RTT last weekend, man, and yeah, they're insanely good. Insanely good. All right, let's jump back. We're going to get some final scores for you guys, and then we'll be checking out for a short break between these last rounds. We're going to have what looks to be Liam Hackett versus Eric Lathuris on the top table for this Masters event, and we're interesting to see. It looks like it's going to be it'll be Justin Lay versus James Keller for the win of the under tournament.
Yeah.
So what's James Keller using? I think
Necrons. He's running
Necrons. Nice. Crons versus Marines. Cool. Spicy. And we're going to have a top table of Sisters versus Orcs one way or another. But yeah, looks like the scores are in for Aaron Green and Liam Hackett. 51 to Aaron, 78 to Liam. Hey, is that pretty much what you thought was going to happen, mate?
Man, I honestly couldn't pick it. Liam's obviously got the skills and the tricks to be able to get through it. But like we've seen with Aaron's list, he just swarms the board and gets through people. So hats off to Liam. He's pulled off a massive win there.
Absolutely right. And Simon just said, yeah, there will be a great final. We might take this chance to rest our larynxes. We'll come back to you guys with the final scores from the Paul Gurney, Dan Savage, and the James Fuller, Braden Kilby Francis game.
Before we go, Savage actually got up in that one, 80-something to 64.
That would probably have just been on primary score, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, he just was able to sling some stuff around and move some primary points his way. Yep. Awesome, dude. Well, let's pull the plug. Let's take a quick break. Worries. How long do you reckon before the next one starts?
Probably 20 minutes, something like that, I'd say.
All right, guys. We will see you back in 20 minutes to half an hour at the most. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Apologies again for the low frame rate. I think, Nick, man on the ground, there's not much we can do about that, is there?
No, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just Australian internet, and it's a very hot day up there as well, so it could be taking a toll. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us, guys. We'll be back in half an hour. Any closing thoughts?
No, that's all, mate. Just bring on this final game. It's exciting.
Oh, yeah. Freaking pumped. All right. Back soon, guys.